Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, banana bread in the break room, dude.
Hell yeah.
This is an interesting morning because yesterday, if you were paying attention very shortly after our show, there was an insanely emotional retirement press conference hosted by the Eagles. Jason Kelce made that announcement that we all saw coming. What we didn't see coming is that he would legitimately take over Twitter for about an hour to 3 hours, depending on what feed you were on. It was a beautiful, emotional regaling of the tale that was his career, how it started, what significance it had to his life, how it led to meeting his wife, who is now his future, with his children, with her. I mean, it really was one of those outpourings of humanity that very rarely you get to see, because people are pretty guarded. You know, I mean, it's just life. You know, people have their things that they want to keep private, and they don't necessarily want to, fully lay their cards on the table. But Jason Kelce is a heart on the sleeve type of guy, and he let it rip. And he opened the retirement speech with probably about a solid minute, maybe a minute and a half of sobbing. Like he just to compose himself to speak took a minute plus. So it was that arguably probably was one of the most difficult moments of his career. But after 13 years and 7 Pro Bowls and 2 Super Bowl trips, one of which they won, Jason Kelce lays down the sword after a long career.
Yeah, that was a very emotional watch. If you had any question whether or not Jason Kelce had a huge heart, I mean, I think that was put to bed yesterday morning. Look, Rich, you've been in this situation. You played professional football. You retired from professional football, and you've said here on the show that it's almost like you're living 2 lives. And watching Jason Kelce announce his retirement looked like he was putting to rest a friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, he truly, what you were watching is him eulogizing and mourning the loss of something incredibly important. I mean, frankly, his identity. That's what I remember the most about moving on from football, was realizing that a part of me will never be the same again. Like, that's it. You don't get to do this anymore. There's no pickup football games that I could go play to scratch the itch. There's no tackle football leagues that I'd be interested in participating in. The last time you put on the pads and hit for real is the last time you get to do that. And so it's a really difficult thing to deal with. I remember my retirement, and many football players' retirement, happens in a hallway in your house, or on a back deck somewhere, or during a conversation with a loved one, a wife, a father, a trusted advisor. And it doesn't get the fanfare that Jason Kelce received, but this is warranted fanfare, I might add. Many of those retirements are made. Those are decisions made for you. The game moves on from you before you're ready to say goodbye. And that's just life in the NFL.
When you retired, did you know you were retiring when you played your last game?
Absolutely not.
You did not.
Yeah,
no. So, do you think Jason Kelce did?
I'm sure there was a inkling that this could be the last game. I'm sure that even emotionally, maybe he thought it was the last game. But then I think what we saw actually was probably the natural order of things, where he said goodbye to a lot of teammates in the locker room tearfully after they bowed out of the playoffs this year against Tampa Bay, and gave a bunch of hugs and, told people, thanked a lot of people. So there was probably this inference that was his final game as an Eagle. But I'm sure then, just like we saw the reports come out, like Jason Kelce announced his retirement to some in the locker room, and then he came out and refuted the reports. He's like, I've made no decision yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably true. He probably said goodbye to people, but realized, well, that was a very emotional reaction to a tough loss after a tough season. Maybe I'll give this some time to think. And he did. And he came to the same conclusion that it was time to walk away.
There's so many things in life that you don't realize are the last time. It's when you're a kid, it's you're heading over to a buddy's house to play video games, you don't know that it's the last time you're going to do that. It just happens. So, in Jason Kelsey's spot here, I feel like he at least got to revel in the last game. He got to soak it up, drink it up, because it does seem like he had kind of at least that thought that was in his head, like this could be the last one I get.
Yeah.
But it was very emotional. I thought it was a great speech. It tore my heart out several times through the thing, but I'm a sympathetic crier. So good God, man. Good God.
TD had a rough day yesterday.
Oh my God. I had a rough morning as I was trying to pull clips from this thing. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I got a few clips, one that's going to make you laugh really hard, and then ones that might make you cry, just like TD. But what it reminded me a lot of was, do you remember not Phillip Rivers' last game in the NFL, but his last game as a Charger when he was up in LA? And he kind of knew that was the end of it. Like, his contract was up with the team, probably wasn't going to be back with them. And he talked a lot about San Diego, actually, in that press conference. And he talked about how much it meant to him, all the fans that were here, and driving down the road that's behind Qualcomm where it used to be, and driving down that big hill every day and going into work, and how much he loved it. And you could feel like, oh, well, that part of him's no longer there. And that's what I saw out of Jason Kelsey yesterday. It was like just that part of him, the brotherhood, the relationships that he's made in Philadelphia, whether it was Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, how much he loved every single teammate he ever had. And Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what people miss most out of the NFL isn't necessarily the hitting and the torture that you put your body through on a daily basis, but it's the bonds that you create with the different teammates you have in the different locations you're at.
Yeah, I mean, you focus on the two worst parts of football, but yeah, so hitting and torturing your body are things you're very willing to step away from. Football's a fun sport, but at a certain point in your career, it hurts. Like it's a lot to ramp yourself up into the fury or the energy or the vigor to go out there and play with the same intensity every single time, because there is a reality to football where you're breaking your body down, especially on the offensive line. Like your knees go, your back goes, your neck, you'll have bad shoulders the rest of your life. And you realize as the years tick on how many more of those joints that you're severely injuring as you play. So you know the sacrifice, the toll. And so even though football is extremely fun, you also have this weird conscience about like, well, what kind of like human being am I going to be available for my family afterward? Like, how much of a shell is going to be left to go and play driveway basketball or to play golf if some of my buddies want to go play golf? Like, am I going to be able to swing a club the way I want to? Like, what is retirement going to look like from a physical standpoint? So some of that stuff is actually easier to walk away from than the relationship stuff. The brotherhood, the familial vibe you have inside of a locker room. I don't even want to call it a vibe. It's a family. You build a family with people, especially people who you've played with for a long time. There's going to be a bunch of faces that change every year, like seasons. Some people will last 3 years and then disappear, and there'll be a memory later on like, oh yeah, you remember when he was with us? That was so fun. He was a cool guy. Or like, oh, that guy was a real jerk. But then you have like those cornerstone, those fabric people, who have been around the organization for a while, or coaches who have been around the organization for a while. And those are the faces you miss the most. Look, we're going to make you cry. If you want to listen to some Jason Kelsey clips, we have them for you. We'll play those in a few minutes. What's interesting is while Jason Kelsey was giving this beautiful retirement speech and was captivating the world of sports, kind of on the sly, the Denver Broncos were like, yeah, we're all set with Russell Wilson. Thanks very much for your time. Like,
too many dirty hands.
Just
too many dirty hands.
Just dusting their hands.
I feel great, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So look, not my $85 million that I'm putting in the garbage can.
Part of it is, though.
Yeah, Broncos fans feel about 225 pounds lighter.
That's correct.
Well, the $85 million would be used to potentially, help the team get better over the next couple of years. That $85 million is just poof, gone.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson not working in Denver, okay? It just didn't work. And whether or not you want to blame Nathaniel Hackett, whether or not you want to blame Russell Wilson, whether or not you want to blame Sean Payton, whoever you want to put on the blame, it didn't work. So here's the thing. If you have Russell Wilson in Denver, you have to start Russell Wilson in Denver because he costs so much damn money. So if you just get him off the team, you can put somebody else in and see if something can work. So you'll take the $85 million hit. Again, not my money, Walton family.
And I actually think what the Broncos are doing now is smart. And I think I'd agree with you, TD, if I was a Broncos fan, because now you're taking the money that you would have been paying to Russell Wilson, a quarterback, and essentially you're just going to use that in your mind as if you're paying that to the rookie who's going to come in and cost a lot less money.
Well,
or next to nothing.
Here's the other side of the coin. They also do save themselves an extra $37 million guaranteed by cutting him now because of the way his contract is structured. He has these two options that kick in every year of the deal. And so one kicks in earlier in the offseason and the other kicks in later in the offseason. And both ain't good if you don't have a talented quarterback. And that's the way they feel about Russell Wilson right now, that he doesn't have the talent to carry this team. And so they're going to eat some money in terms of their salary cap, but that's money already owed to Russell Wilson. Nothing you can do about that. And it's not worth throwing bad money after or good money after bad, I guess is the right way to describe it.
Yeah, what's just amazing at this whole scenario is Russell Wilson didn't have a bad season. He just didn't go out there and win. So, I mean, even if you have decent stats, if you're not putting wins in the win column, you don't stay around.
What's interesting about that, though, is like you're going to see a lot of wet eyes around a locker room and a media room as Jason Kelce says goodbye to Philadelphia. It's not going to be the same in Denver because I don't think there was ever a real connection with that locker room with Russell Wilson. And we've heard some of the source reports, how it went when Nathaniel Hackett was the head coach. It felt like Russell Wilson put himself on an island. He was hiring his own staff.
Right.
Like he had his own office. Sean Payton came in and he like swept up a lot of those cobwebs out of the dark corners of Broncos land and was just like, hey, you know, Russ, you're going to be like with the team. Like we're going to do this all together. You're not going to be separate from the rest of your guys because that's not how I organize a football team. So I think there was a little bit of this, like, look, leadership, it's a weird thing. You can be a great leader and not be as involved with the people around you, but there's a very slim few who can get away with that in football. Most of the times you got to roll up your sleeves. You got to get to work with your boys and be a part of that family on a day-to-day basis. And it never felt like he jumped in the trenches with his teammates in Denver.
You don't even have to say in football. You could say in business.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a manager that doesn't come down and you know, get down and dirty in the trenches with you. You lose respect for. You know, you start talk about, oh well, they're too good for this. They're you know too high and mighty for this job. It's just us little peons down here. So a good manager gets down and fights with you, works with you. They're part of the team. They're here every day. You see them in and out. You know, they're not tucked away in their own little unit. It's that Barry Bonds effect. Yeah. I mean, you're riding on your own bus. You're riding on your own plane. You got your own office. You never see us until you come out on the field. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. And Russell Wilson is supposed to be this completely nice, genuinely big-hearted guy. Apparently too good for everybody. That's how it felt.
I want to know if he learned from this and his next spot's going to be better because in Seattle, he was that guy. Like Tyler Lockett afterwards talked about how much he loved him and respected
Not
Russ.
to everybody.
Maybe not to everyone, but you heard enough when he left Seattle. Like from wide receivers, from Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, they had these beautiful talks about Russell Wilson. And I know that there were some people on the team that felt differently, but
Marshawn Lynch, I mean,
Marshawn Lynch.
Well, what you don't believe Marshawn Lynch?
I believe him more than I believe.
I believe him the most.
He probably speaks more truth than anybody in football.
But they also won a Super Bowl, and Russ was also very good. Like the potential Hall of Famer Russ was the Russ that was in Seattle. If he can get back to that with the next team, there's got to be a team lining up to pay him.
I'm not saying there wasn't a time where he was a good leader, but it changed in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And Pete Carroll was aware of that change, and he was aware of the reasons why people were disgruntled with Russ. That's the reason why they cut bait with Russ. That's the reason why they were even willing to trade Russ in the first place. How often do we see a franchise quarterback, a guy who won a Super Bowl with the franchise, get traded? It's rare. This is one of maybe a handful of times we've ever seen that happen in the history of the NFL. There were reasons. And guess what? Pete Carroll was right, as it turns out. I agree with you. Maybe getting back to his roots, starting over somewhere new after a complete flame out in Denver. Maybe it'll reignite that whatever it was early in his career that passion to connect with people, to make a strong team around his leadership. But who knows if he can anymore?
And is there a market for him? Like Minnesota needs a quarterback most likely. There's rumors this morning that Kirk Cousins has 1 foot out the door to Atlanta already. He's talking about moving his family there, which it seems a little early to do that. But if Minnesota's open, if there's plenty of options out there for a new quarterback, does Russ get any of those looks, or are they all going to the draft where there's 5 NFL-ready quarterbacks?
Yeah, Denver Broncos, very cool, man. As a Bronco fan, tied for the worst Super Bowl loss in history and now the worst trade in NFL history. It's a good day.
Wow. Well, the Browns may have them beat eventually with this Deshaun Watson.
We'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
We'll see how it goes with Deshaun, because remember, he had to be traded to the Browns in order for Cleveland to pick him up.
I'm curious about Super Bowl winning quarterbacks to get traded, because the one that pops in my head is Nick Foles. He got traded to the Bears, remember, after winning the one in Philly, and that ended up being a disaster because Carson Wentz a couple years later was cut.
Aaron Rodgers got 4 snaps.
Yeah, that's true. That could end up being a bad one. But think of it from this standpoint.
Was Joe Montana traded to the Chiefs, or was his contract just up?
I think his contract was over. It wasn't a trade.
He signed as a free agent in the Chiefs, but that was a great signing because the Chiefs went to the playoffs. Like Joe Montana,
they went to the championship.
Yeah, those are forgotten years, but Joe Montana did it again. Old trick of Joe. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, that's one that could be discussed and bantied about in the future if he's not going to come back healthy this season.
Nick Foles has the big asterisk because he had 4 good games and they were all in the playoffs.
Here's the reason why Nick Foles won't be a part of the debate. The financial aspect of it was not there. Nick Foles was a cheap trade. Like, it was a trade and a sign, and it wasn't for very much money. The Denver Broncos can't say that about Russ because they're swallowing $85 million. All right, we got a quick halftime, but before that, I want to let everybody know we got a pair of tickets to that Outlaw Music Festival, July 29th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Willie knows him, Bob Dylan, John Mellencamp, so many more. Info at livenation.com. Keep listening for opportunity to win those, along with a pair of Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Woo! Tradition returns as Irish celebration takes over the streets of the Gas Lamp. That's going to be March 16th. We're sending you and a friend there as well. But first, this.
Tons of NFL news yesterday. We hit on some of it. The Denver Broncos informing Russ that he's going to be cut on March 13th. That's when the new league year begins. Jason Kelce announcing his retirement. We'll have some audio from that for you next. And Dak Prescott saying he's confident a contract extension will get done this offseason. He's going into the final year of his deal with the Cowboys. Also, Kirk Cousins hinting at a possible move to Atlanta. He might just be doing some guerrilla contract extensioning and trying to force the Vikings' hand. Aztecs Hoops, they're back on the court tonight. They got UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30. Tip-off at 8 right here on San Diego Sports 760. And the Padres yesterday tweaking things a little bit. Ha-Seong Kim actually batted leadoff. Fernando Tatis Jr. in the 2-hole, and that worked on one because...
Sorry, where was he at?
The second batting position, commonly known in baseball as the 2-hole.
Sure. Okay. All right, moving
on. It actually worked because Ha-Seong Kim had a double at one point. Fernando Tatis had a single to hit him in, but what it looks like is that... When left-handed pitchers are starting for the opposite team, Ha-Seong Kim could be batting leadoff for the season. That was the point I was trying to land at.
Wait, he had
that sounds
a double in the 2-hole?
I think you should probably dump that.
Yeah.
Everything you just said.
Hey, there's an eagle on the screen.
Well, yeah, there is. We're still on eagle watch.
Like Big Bear. Boy, I am all out of sorts after that update.
Typically, that's not my head's spinning.
That is not an uncommon baseball phrase.
Yeah, okay, sure, man.
I mean, yeah,
you're just perverts.
Yeah, no, it's us. Sure, no,
definitely
good about that.
Yeah, we're the people who wrote that.
We promised tears. We are going to deliver tears. So here's Jason Kelce. And listen, again, it's early, and we apologize. But if you're looking to clear out the nostrils here, you're going to be a mess after listening to this. Jason Kelce says goodbye to his career in the Eagles.
See how long this lasts. And so this all brings us here to today, where I announce that I am retiring. Where I announce I'm retiring from the NFL after 13 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. And today, I must admit, I am officially overrated. vastly overrated. It took a lot of hard work and determination getting here. I don't know what's next, but I look forward to the new challenges and opportunities that await. And I know that I carry with me the lessons from my time here, and that forever, we shall all share the bond of being Philadelphians. That's all I got.
I mean, just you heard how many cuts there were in that piece of audio. He was having a hard time finishing any of the sentences he uttered during what was like an hour-long press conference. So very emotional goodbye to his career.
Yeah, when he talked about his brother growing up, he didn't have a big family. It was just he and Jason, out there playing as kids on his street, in their minds, playing all these Super Bowls and winning these Super Bowls before they ever got there. It pulled on the heartstrings, man. And then he went into his family life. He talked about his wife and everything good that every accolade he's ever had as an NFL player happened with his wife by his side. I mean, come on.
I feel like not too many players get a 45-minute press conference to announce their retirement.
Not too many players get that. And I don't know if I can ever think of an offensive lineman or a center ever getting that.
Well, Nick Hardwick comes to mind. 11-year career as a pro with one team with the Chargers here in San Diego. And it was very similar. There were tears. Mm-hmm. It was hard for teammates to stomach watching him step away, but understood why he needed to. Look, but it's rare. To your point, press conferences are held rarely in football because oftentimes football players don't know that they're retired. I didn't know when my last play was. I had I remember in 2015, I made the decision. My retirement decision was made, and I told this story before, and I'll rehash it quickly, but I was trying out for teams still in 2015. 2014, I injured myself so badly I needed spinal surgery. So they went in and fixed my lower back, and the recovery from that was long and arduous because I had done a bunch of nerve damage to my right leg, so much so that there were times where while I was playing, my leg would be temporarily paralyzed at times because the nerve would just shut off. It was terrifying at times. It's when it started happening in my like daily life, walking around, like I'd be carrying something in the kitchen. All of a sudden the nerve would blink out and I would tumble and fall in the kitchen, drop like a hot pot of water or something like that. It's when you realize like, I should probably be done for the year and get this thing fixed. So I got surgery in 2014, and then I wanted to come back. So I had a couple of workouts in the preseason. The phone stopped ringing. It was middle of the year in 2015. Detroit was having an awful year. I think they had lost every game. So they called me up and said, hey, we want you to come out and try out. So I get on a flight to Detroit, and I have a newborn son. Ty was just an infant. And I give him a kiss on the forehead and say goodbye to Annie, and I hop on a plane to Detroit. And I realized that this wasn't like a typical workout where they're bringing in a free agent to sign him. It was like me and a cattle call of other players, bunch of tight ends, bunch of quarterbacks, bunch of offensive linemen. Like we were all there. And some of them were younger guys who were looking for their first opportunity in the league. I'm like one of these like old wily veterans who knew exactly what was happening. Like this team stinks. They're trying to scare the locker room. So they're putting on a show. They're having like this big group tryout. Like we're going to replace all of you.
And there he is.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to, here comes the show pony. Right. See, we're going to sign every last one of you because you all stink.
You're just jogging for 8 hours.
Just slapping high fives with coaches. They're all pretending to like me. So anyways, this like sham of a workout finishes up. I don't want to call it a sham. Maybe some of those guys got signed. I don't know. I didn't. We get a shuttle back to the hotel. I sit down at the bar of the hotel in the middle of Detroit by myself, order a whiskey, order a steak, and over that meal realized it was over. I don't ever want to do this again. I want to be a dad. I want to be a husband. I don't want to sacrifice my body anymore for this sport that I love. But it takes a toll on you to make that decision. And then you realize like the sport itself has taken a toll on you. It tears you up. It leaves you less than you were before you found it. But I wouldn't trade a single moment of it It's the best thing I've ever done outside of meeting my wife and meeting my children. But it truly does feel like you're mourning the loss of a dear friend that you've known your whole life, and you close that lid on that casket, and you don't get it back ever again. So I appreciate the fact that some of us get an opportunity to tell that story in front of many, because the majority of us don't. And so cheers to Jason Kelsey, a career well played. We'll check in Philadelphia. Eitan Shander, he's all over Philly TV and radio. Shander Bets on Twitter if you want to find him for a gambling advice. He covers the Eagles, and we'll hear his thoughts on what the Eagles do moving forward. On the other side, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760.
Jason Kelsey retires. We check in out in Philadelphia with our buddy Eitan Shander coming up next.
This update is presented by Indeed.com. Tons of NFL news yesterday. Broncos informing Russell Wilson he's going to be cut on March 13th when the league year begins. Longtime center for the Eagles, Jason Kelce, announcing his retirement yesterday. Dak Prescott saying he's confident a contract extension will get done with the Cowboys. Aztecs Hoops back on the court tonight, taking on UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8 right here on 760. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool helps you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
It took a lot of hard work and determination getting here. I don't know what's next, but I look forward to the new challenges and opportunities that await. And I know that I carry with me the lessons from my time here. And that forever we shall all share the bond of being Philadelphians. That's all I got.
Holy smokes. I'm telling you, golly, man. Watching him pour his heart out, tore my heart out. I was in the same boat. I was crying right with you, Jason, but busy day here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We still have a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival we're giving away. That's happening July 29th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, John Mellencamp, whole lot more. Tickets and info at livenation.com. Also, a pair of tickets to the Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns as an authentic Irish celebration takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gaslamp District on March 16th. SanDiegoShamrock.com for tickets and info there. And it's Super Tuesday, so we got to get out and vote. We may have to leave mid-show.
Yeah. I'm not missing my spot in the polling lines.
No way.
There's also free donuts today
In the building?
Wait, in the building?
at Krispy Kreme.
For voting?
Interesting.
I don't know.
Or was it because of Jason Kelce?
I just know there's free donuts today at Krispy Kreme.
Okay, guys. It's either because of Jason Kelce or voting. Either way, we're getting donuts. That's a great thing.
Done.
There is a donut hole left in the Philadelphia's offensive line room. Tell you right now.
Nicely done.
That was a position they didn't need to worry about for a long time, center, and that's a really important position. Trust me. So the question is, what do they do now?
Mm-hmm.
Because the tush push, I mean, you can make an argument that Jalen Hurts with his 600-pound squat had a lot to do with the success of that play, but Jason Kelce was right there in front of him, road grading, paving the way for that play to have as high of a success rate as it had. So perfect time to welcome in Eitan Shander out there in Philadelphia, all over TV and radio, covering the Eagles. Buddy, I'll ask you, how do the Philadelphia Eagles move on from a Hall of Famer anchoring their offensive line for a decade plus?
They don't. And by the way, every single time, I wish this was hyperbolic in some way or capacity, but every single time I come on with you guys, you're talking about food. And I absolutely love it. I mean, I can't ignore, and now I have Krispy Kreme in my head. It's 9:36 in Philadelphia. I'm going to make a run to get some donuts after this, but they don't. They do not recover.
It actually feels late for donuts, if you want to be honest.
Yeah, we've already had a dozen, a baker's dozen. That's 13.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is dinner time for you guys. And I'm factoring in the time zone by all means. I'll tell you what the biggest loss is. Clearly, it's Hall of Fame talent, and you're losing a guy who not only is instrumental in the tush push, but he's one of the most cerebral centers you'll see. The guy just was calling everything, totally aware of everybody else's responsibilities on top of his own. That's just pales in comparison to losing a guy in that locker room. And look, here's the thing. It's not just because it's Philadelphia, right? Like we have to honor the situation that Jason Kelce and anybody else playing here is in. It's not just a veteran voice. It's not just a guy that you can look over and kind of get some stability from if you're losing or things aren't going well. It's somebody who knows and is respected by this city. And that's what makes life incredibly easy, or significantly easier for you. It's way more than blocking in the tush push. You have a guy like Jason Kelce on your team in your locker room. It just mitigates at the very least, if not improves your situation, even if things aren't going well. That's what they lose, and that's what they cannot replace.
Hey, Ton, so you brought up the tush push. Rich brings up the tush push. Is it still a cheat code next season without Jason Kelce?
Cam Jurgens is going to get first crack at it. And look, I think a lot of it does actually have to do with the squads, as crazy as that sounds, because Jalen is just a tough out when it comes to bringing him down like that. But I think the Eagles recognize that if executed properly, which they did a significant amount of times last year, this is a weapon. Unfortunately, it just became like the whole thing. It became their identity. And then they go on this massive losing skid. And it was like, all right, great. You got 2 tush pushes in that game, but you lost to Arizona, whatever it may be. So I think they're going to look at it like a strategic weapon. And I also think that a guy like Kellen Moore, who comes in and runs the offense now, is going to have that in the back of his hand. I can't tell you if it's going to be executed as well as what we saw with Jason Kelce. But look, and Rich, I'm sure you saw this too, where it's like Jason Kelce's walking into the Hall of Fame as one of the best centers ever, but it wasn't just Vita Vea blowing him off the ball at times. Guys were getting around or just through him at times, and it wore on him. So you've got fresh blood at the very least, but Cam Jurgens is no Jason Kelce.
Eitan, you look at the retirement press conference yesterday, clearly emotionally charged. Rich was talking about it. Not every football player gets to have a retirement press conference, much less a 45-minute one. And Jason Kelce really had the captivation of the entire world, it felt like, for those 45 minutes. But when you look at the city of Philadelphia and really the state of Pennsylvania, what did Jason Kelce, the man, mean more than the football player mean to that place?
I've never seen anything like this. I've been in Philadelphia since, Gettysburg College, 2001, and I've never left. And I've never seen anything like this. An athlete that connected on this level. And look, we've had other guys, right? I think a lot of people want certain guys to get in there and win a championship to kind of justify and validate them being this all-timer. But I have never seen a Philadelphia athlete connect and blend and mesh with this city, which ain't easy, like Jason Kelce. Nobody has made life easier for himself and really his teammates. Nobody has represented this fan base. And really, I think anything at all where you're talking about a perfect mirror of the fans. He never quit. He never gave up, even when the team did around him. A lot of that stuff on the surface, but his personality, everything is legit. Everything is genuine. And then winning on top of that in Philadelphia just solidified it. But people are trying. Bryce Harper, Joel Embiid. For me, it's Jimmy Rollins, but there was, even Allen Iverson just did not have this universal love. And I've never seen anything like the universal love that Jason Kelce got. It's really cool to see.
Eitan Shander joining us this morning. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Does a lot of work for Fox 29 Philly, the Philly voice. Also, you can find him at Odd Shopper. I'll ask you one last one, Eitan. From a leadership standpoint, we talked about the player. We talked about the replacement. We talked about the impact on the city, that rugged blue-collar work ethic. But how about the leadership void that having a player like Jason Kelce move on from his career leaves behind in Philadelphia with that Eagles locker room?
Yeah, I think this team is searching for leadership right now, at least consistent leadership. And there were reports coming out with Jalen Hurts and the contract is too big to handle and any other nonsense with A.J. Brown, which I don't necessarily believe. Nick Sirianni unable to check his emotions. I mean, the fact that you and I'm sure plenty of other media outlets around the country know who Big Dom is, the head of security for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like that's insane, right? How many other head of securities are people talking about in any other sport on any other team? But all of this stuff that came out speaks to the point of your question, I believe, which is, where is now this centralized leadership, this rock that you will? It's going to be a little bit on defense, but a lot of the guys, a lot of the talent is young. A lot of the talent is changing of the guard. You still have a guy like Lane Johnson there, but I think the Eagles addressed him right away and they draft his replacement in the first round. It's going to have to come from Jalen Hurts, and it's going to have to come from a guy like A.J. Brown, honestly. And as crazy as that sounds because of this offseason and anything like that, I think it just, circling back to Kelce initially, guys, I think it speaks to a message left by Kelce to anybody playing here in Philadelphia, which is it doesn't matter. If you go out and you try, and if you go out and this stuff wears on you, and if you go out and you look like we look like after a loss or feel like we feel like after a win, life's going to be easy for you. And I think A.J. Brown responds to that. I really do. So that would be my answer. But let's be honest, that's a chasm of a hole now, a space, if you will, that's being left by a guy in Kelsey. And I cannot overstate this enough. His relationship with the city is unmatched.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question. We were just talking about this a second ago, Eitan, but a career well played, and we appreciate your time this morning, buddy. Thanks for doing it again. Get yourself a donut. It's Super Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The intermittent fasting, all of the stuff I try to do is ruined every time we have a chat. Just so you know that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for that as well. There you go. Eitan Shander. Find him at Shander Show. Also, Shander Bets on Twitter or X, whatever you care to call it. All right, coming up next, is it a slowdown or is it a planned dam? We'll explain. All right, but before we do that, I got to explain this. Oh my God. I'm sorry if I was a little late coming back from the hallways before we started that conversation with Eitan.
Doing push-ups again?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't help myself.
It's at every break.
It's, you know what, honestly though, it's it's really a gift and a curse because I'm trying to get these pectorals in shape for this upcoming summer.
I knew it was happening again because I could hear everyone else in the building. Everyone's counting. Yeah, like 101, 102,
clapping.
103. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's insane.
Yeah.
If you want to have that kind of energy where you could just drop down and give 100, you got to go to the Man Zone at Golden Triangle Plastic Surgery. Dr. Roy David is the medical director at the Man Zone, double board certified plastic surgeon, and really has led me to better health. Look, every man should get their testosterone levels checked. If you're in your 40s, your 50s, or your 60s, absolutely. Like, that's a no-brainer. You need to schedule your appointment today at themanzone.com with Dr. Roy David to get your T levels checked. That's just hands down. You're 40 or above, go and do it. Now, I'm in my late 30s. I had no expectations that this would be a problem for me, but I was talking to a buddy. I've told this story before, a former teammate of mine. He was saying how, I was explaining, I was like, yeah, I mean, I just haven't been in the gym in a while because I feel this and I feel sluggish waking up. And I don't know. I kind of lost the enthusiasm for getting workouts in. And he was like, yeah, I was feeling the same way. He was like, I went in, got my T levels checked, and he was like severely low. And so he went and got testosterone replacement therapy out where he lives, and he felt like a new man. So I'm like, maybe I ought to get my T levels checked. I went down to the Man Zone, found out that I was in the low average range, and I'm like, I don't want to be low average. I want to be exceptional. Okay. So it's just like a gas station, man. I'm like, fill her up, doc. Yeah. So he goes, hey, yeah, you're about a quart low. And then after he put the dipstick back in, it was time. I don't know what to tell you. It was one of the better decisions I've made in recent memory. I mean, he got me right. The great people and the staff over at the Man Zone will get you right. So if you're feeling any of those symptoms, sluggish, low energy, you don't feel like you're getting the same results in the gym, maybe it's bedroom problems. Don't be embarrassed about that. You got to get to the Man Zone. Again, that website, themanzone.com, themanzone.com. Coming up, was it planned or is it just the nature of things? We'll get to that. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We have so many questions, none of them related to sports this morning, unfortunately. We have the Big Bear Eagle Cam on. There are 3 eggs. Jackie, the American bald eagle, is nested on top of them. She was delivered a fish from Shadow.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday Shadow came down. Now she's just yelling out to the crowd.
See, I think that's a yawn.
No. If you turn the volume up, there's noise.
Well, what's so crazy is every time she opens her mouth like that, I fill in the yell myself because we're watching it on silence. So imagine an eagle beak opening, and then I'm just picturing it going,
There you go. There you go. But back that up about 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah. We now go live
We go live to the Eagle Cam.
to the sounds of nature.
That's right. Maybe.
That's just really a burbling stream.
That really is. I think that's just the wind brushing over the microphone there. As Jackie sits on the nest, looking around. It's got to be boring. Like somebody needs to deliver maybe just an iPhone so you can play Wordle.
Wordle.
Oh, that's why she's yelling.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a crow.
Yeah, it's a crow out there.
Yeah,
golly.
do crows eat eagle eggs?
Well, yeah, I would imagine they do if they, fly up there. But we're going to be talking with Sandy Steers from Friends of Big Bear Valley Eagle Cam coming up in the 8 o'clock hour to answer all these questions. No eagle chicks as of yet, which worries me.
Yeah.
I thought that a little crack in the egg meant that a little eaglet was coming out, and we haven't seen anything. So now I'm concerned.
It has us questioning everything. Like, is that actually a crack in the egg?
Right.
Are we just seeing things?
Right.
It's so hard.
Oh, God. How long do eagles live? Where does Shadow go during the day?
Yeah. I just picture Shadow like holding the camera. Like he's the one who's got one eagle eye closed and he's just holding like a home video camera.
Like a camcorder.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he like sets it on a mount when he goes and flies to get a salmon.
Right.
It is what last night I sat down and watched for like 45 minutes and it's electric and the bird did nothing, but there were 17,000 other people watching.
Yeah.
It's captivated
Yeah.
a nation.
Look, it's our national bird. All right.
Yeah.
On Super Tuesday, maybe Shadow went to vote.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Comes back with a sticker. It's American flag. I voted. Jackie's rolling her eyes. I'm hungry. I'm glad you voted. I'm hungry.
Speaking of Jackie, we do have Outlaw Music Festival tickets to give away. John Mellencamp going to be there. Jackie and Diane. Jackie, suck it on a chili dog.
Suck it on a chili dog. Jackie, suck it on a chili dog. Best that you can. Suck it on a chili dog. Suck it on a chili dog. That's kind of music you're going to be hearing at Outlaw Music Festival.
That's right. That's right. Is that what it's called? Is that true? Yes, it is. Whew.
Yeah, and they're going to be serving chili dogs at the concession stand.
Only chili dogs.
If they don't, they're missing a whole market.
Absolutely. In fact, if there's not a eat this with no hands chili dog stand.
All right, coming right up on the other side, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We're going to be diving into the Padres, previewing what's happened so far in the spring. We have some updates there. Also, we teased it. We never got to it. Is it a slowdown that's happened naturally, or did somebody throw a wrench into the gears on purpose? We'll explain exactly what we're talking about there. But before we get to any of that, I want to talk to everybody about Eagles. No, I want to talk to everybody. That's what an eagle sounds like, by the way. Listen to this.
That's a very nice little noise it's making. That's not the normal scream.
No.
Wow.
I didn't know they were capable.
What it's saying?
With every passing moment, I have a new question for our guest coming up later on to talk about the Big Bear Lake Eagles. Okay, but yeah, look, we were just talking about chili dogs. You know what I say to chili dogs most times? No, thanks.
Yeah, but I mean, at least like 80% of the time.
80% of the time, I'm pushing them away. I'm saying, nah, you take that death dog and you throw it into a volcano.
Yeah, I'll suck on one of those tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Suck it on a chili dog. Only on every other weekend because I only eat junk food 20% of the time. Oh, yeah. With SDFatLoss.com, I've changed my lifestyle. I really have. And I'm not just saying that. I'm living proof that somebody can spend a lot of time with chili dogs.
That's right.
Then all of a sudden realize, maybe chili dogs aren't the right answer to a better living situation.
It's interesting. Once you stop eating the chili dogs, you go, I feel a lot better.
Yeah. And I needed Wayne and Chloe, the weight loss team over at SDFatLoss.com, to hold my hand through a lot of this. All of us did. I mean, we did it as a group, and I'd suggest that for anybody. If you're looking to lose some unwanted pounds this year and you haven't been able to, they have a guarantee going right now. If you don't lose, what was it, 10 pounds in 10 days? Is that the guarantee?
No, if you don't lose any weight.
Any weight in 10 days.
Okay. You are guaranteed to lose weight in 10 days. That's 100%. It is impossible. If you just listen to what they tell you to do, it is impossible not to lose weight in 10 days. After 10 days, I was calling them up saying, hey, I'm 14 pounds down. Am I okay? They were like, yeah, you were just overweight. You really did it.
Yeah.
And now you're undoing it. And so it was great. It was a fun process with Wayne and Chloe. It was a fun process with all of us. So if you want to lose that weight, SDFatLoss.com is where you need to go. SDFatLoss.com.
This update presented by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We will start in the NFL, where tons of news came down yesterday. The Denver Broncos informing Russell Wilson that he's going to be cut from the team on March 13th. That's when the league year ends. That comes with $85 million in dead cap money for the Broncos over the next 2 years. Longtime Eagle Jason Kelce announcing his retirement yesterday. 7-time Pro Bowler, 13-year career. Dak Prescott saying he's confident a contract extension will get done this offseason. He's in the final year of his deal with the Cowboys. Aztecs Hoops back on the court tonight. They got UNLV at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30. Tip-off at 8 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Guess what, San Diego? Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air just turned the cool factor up a notch right now. Buy an AC unit and get the furnace for free. Don't miss their semi-annual BOGO sale. Visit AndersonPHA.com. Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Nobody wows clients like they do.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. We are off to the races in a big way. We covered Jason Kelce's retirement with Eitan Shander. That's going to be available on the free iHeartRadio app, the podcast center. Just follow us at Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on the iHeartRadio app. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us. If you rate and review us, give us 5 stars. Don't waste our time with anything less than 5 stars.
What if they feel like it's only worth 4 stars?
No. Give it 5 stars, but then say something hysterical. Like I really honestly feel like if you feel so motivated to rate it, give us 5 stars. And if you want to offer constructive criticism, do it after that.
Give them the 5-star review. Just say it's a 4-star show with 5-star reviews.
Right.
Larry Joe on the text line saying, listening to you guys on the iHeartRadio app, also watching the live feed of the Big Bear Lake Eagles on my phone at the same time.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
We have big time movement.
Right. Yeah, there's Jackie stood up. We can see all 3 eggs. She's shifting around some of the nesting material around the eggs. Now, I don't know if that was a crack from yesterday.
Yeah, see, so the eggs, they actually do a good job of like moving them around. I don't know. Look, I don't know biology or, what eagles do in the nest when we're not looking. But what I do know is probably like twice or 3 times an hour, she gets up and she's moving them. I mean, if you asked me to sit on eggs all day long, I'd be getting up several times too.
You got to stretch the legs.
No question about it.
I just, I feel like if you just handed her a Game Boy or, even just a crossword puzzle,
just one of those like
Sudoku.
What do they call it? The paddle with the
with
red
the paddle
ball.
Yeah,
like where you go.
Right.
Even that would
absolutely.
help.
Why do they set up just a little TV over there in the corner? You can watch Housewives.
I picture off camera is where all of like there's
all
like
their stuff is.
Yeah, there's a couch.
These eggs better freaking hatch during our show.
Or what?
This bird is really letting me down.
Wow, that bird is our national bird, Ben.
That's true. That's
true. Come on, Fletch.
Gosh, Sandy Steers, friends of Big Bear Valley Eagle Kim. She's going to be joining us in the 8:00 hour because the longer we watch, the more questions we have. So we're going to get to the bottom of everything Eagle related. As mentioned, former Philadelphia Eagle Jason Kelce, he retired. We'll play some of that sound from his retirement speech later on in the hour, but we got to get to these Padres. Holy cow. Okay. So the spring, it charges forward. It waits for no man, including the Padres, who are now 15 days, almost 2 weeks away from hopping on a plane to Seoul, South Korea. Actually, they'll be leaving well before that. They will be playing in Seoul, South Korea in 15 days. They're probably leaving for Seoul days before that.
I want to say they leave San Diego on the 13th.
Okay, so there you go. We're within a week's time, basically.
8 days away?
It's nuts.
Good Lord.
So they've got a lot they still need to hammer out. But let's focus on some of the things that have worked so far this spring for the Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., for anybody who's paying attention, looks like Nando.
Yeah, I agree.
He's back.
You guys notice the home run? He had the one-hand follow-through. That's old school Fernando. That's 40 home run Nando.
I think you put all the pieces in place for Nando to succeed. And I know that Ha-Seong Kim was the leadoff batter in, was it yesterday's game?
Yesterday's game,
yeah. Schulte afterwards saying, Mike Schilt,
well,
the chief of...
That's my guy, Schilt.
The skipper of the Padres, said yesterday they're looking at maybe Ha-Seong
like me
Kim.
With Kevin Nealon last week. I was like, Kev. Anyways, Kev. Kev. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Rich? Literally just met this man.
I mean, we did
He
have
was
chemistry.
cool with it.
Yeah,
I would say,
rolled
like,
with
so
it.
Hassan Kim yesterday was very much a spring training. Hey, try this out, see if it might work in the regular season. But it's in case they want to bat him lead off against lefties because Fernando has a slightly lower batting average against lefties.
You know what? And having that versatility in the lineup, certain guys like Derek Jeter, they had to keep him as the leadoff hitter. They just had to. He wasn't as effective anywhere else on the lineup. And baseball is very much a mental sport. But the fact that Fernando Tatis Jr. not only has defensive positional versatility, but also lineup versatility, where it doesn't really matter where you put him, he's going to make contact with the baseball, is really useful.
Yeah.
And the fact that Hassan Kim can do it too, it really is. It's fun. It gives Mike Schilt an opportunity to play this year and to move pieces around the chessboard. And I think that's what they're going to lean on more. So let's get to Mike Schilt, right? Because Fernando Tatis Jr. is a known quantity. Mike Schilt comes over from the St. Louis Cardinals after a long and successful career as their skipper. He gets fired because he's not seeing eye to eye with their front office. He joins the front office as a special advisor with the Padres back in 2022. He's seen success. He's now seen failure with the Padres, and he gets an opportunity to be the manager. So far, I mean, look, I'm speaking for myself. I'd love to hear from you guys, but I really, really like the tone he sets for this team, TD.
Yeah, no, I'm with you completely. I dig it. I don't feel like there's discord. I don't feel like there's questions. Even when we have questions, I feel like, well, there's a plan in his lap where if I'm not privy to it, that's fine. I don't need to be. But I mean, I feel pretty good. I feel like he's good captain here at the ship.
The parts that worry me are when Kevin Acee tells us about the fact that like AJ Preller and Mike Schilt are so closely aligned. Because I just have a bad taste in my mouth with AJ Preller. I don't love what's happened here over the last few years. I don't love especially what happened in this last offseason. And I don't love what happened when Jay Stingler was the manager and AJ Preller was really the one pulling all the strings. Bob Melvin clearly didn't work out last year. Clearly there was a bunch of infighting between AJ Preller and Bob Melvin. Whose fault is that really? We'll never know. But if Mike Schilt and AJ Preller are so closely aligned that AJ Preller is in fact the one making all the decisions on this ball club, I don't know how I feel about that personally. As of right now, don't like it. But I do like Mike Schilt a lot as a person, the way he talks. He's a big nickname guy. I like nickname guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nickname guys are my favorite guys.
Kimmy, Tati. Manny's already Manny. Zandy, I think or Bogey for Bogarts.
Yeah, Bogey.
Big head guy.
Crony.
Guy who never ties his shoes.
Crondome. Anyways, yeah. Can't get right out in the outfield. Well, he's in left, but he can't get right. Anyways, like it really is fun hearing him talk because you're right. There's a colloquial, like very familiar vernacular, just a way of speaking that he uses when he's addressing his team. And it does. That creates a closeness. That creates we're just talking about it with Jason Kelsey's retirement speech, like that familial vibe that's important inside a locker room or a clubhouse, in this case with the Padres. And then you look at starting pitching. So I know there are still question marks. I know we don't know exactly who is going to be this rotation yet. However, there's been a couple of, and I know it's spring also. I'm couching this with a lot.
But yeah, you're tricking yourself right now.
Hang on. Now.
No, just say how you honestly feel.
Johnny Brito has been good.
He's been fun to watch in spring.
Yeah, okay.
In spring,
but I really, yes, he's okay. I'm gonna say what I said, and he's been good. Like he's been solid.
Are we doing Padres positives? Because we could spit a lot.
I know I'm spinning.
It's spring.
Hi, my name is Rich Arnberger, host of Big Rich, TD and Fletch, also Padres Public Relations.
We can do that if you want.
It's on the business card. Say,
look,
I'm not there. Like I think Mike Schilt is doing an excellent job of putting up this smokescreen of everything is hunky
Who's that,
dory.
Schilty?
Yeah, Mike Schilt.
Oh, God.
I think he's doing a great job of making it seem like there is a lot of positives going on in camp right now. Maybe there are. Maybe this is going to be great. But I feel there are a lot of question marks, too. And question marks make me ridiculously uneasy.
Look, I've been known to ride the roller coaster. Right now, I'm a little down. I'm a little down on the roller coaster because I'm looking at this going, as I look back to last season, the Padres had some trouble putting runs on the board. Okay. And so this season, I'm like, okay, it may take quite a few runs to win some of these games because My guess is you're going to give up some runs here.
Well, I mean, it's part of baseball, part of game.
Right.
Why am I doing this? I'm spinning everything. I'm like,
listen,
look, you're going to give up some runs. You got to crack a couple of eagle eggs to make an eagle omelet.
Well, you said something very important that I feel like is key. It's key to the Padres moving along here and getting some wins this season. You said they're playing small ball out there.
Yeah.
They didn't play small ball last year. They didn't do it. And it was a failure. So go out there, play small ball, get the little dinks, just get on base.
See, that's the thing. Bob Melvin had a very American League belief of like, hey, we're going to put the baseball over the fence. We're going to use, obviously, the DH has been universal. So I understand all those things and the reasoning behind it. And I understand analytically that makes sense over the course of 162 games. However, when a team's struggling, when a team's not doing the things that you hope, like, for example, put the ball over the fence, well, then you got to change. And I think there was a little bit of, I don't know, it was very unmoving. Like, it felt like there were times where the Padres could have employed strategy and they just stuck to the script. And I don't know how much of that was Bob Melvin. I don't know how much of that was meddling from AJ Preller with the backing of Peter Seidler at the time. I don't know the answers, and none of us will ever have those answers. But I'm praying that with Mike Schilt, they give him a script where it has a little bit more flexibility to change as the team changes. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
If you want to go real Padres positives, the thing you said at the very beginning is the most important one. Fernando Tatis Jr. is looking like Fernando Tatis Jr. If there's one thing that can turn me completely around on the Padres and make me convinced that they're going to have a really good season, it's Fernando Tatis Jr. being top 5 in MVP voting this year. Because if he does that, he's good enough to change the game and get you a few wins on his own. And guess what? A few wins last year, all that would mean was, well, they're in the postseason. Yeah. So if Fernando can do it, man, and he's probably one of one who can on this team, then here we go.
Nando, Tati, Shilty,
Bogey, Breedo-y.
Fammy?
Breedo-y?
Breedo, yeah. Johnny. Oh, shit. His first name. Wait, you're not allowed to say that?
Damn it, Richard.
Can't drop the S. Can't drop the S.
Johnny.
Did you take any training at all recently?
I did. I just passed my EAS and FTC training. I'm very proud of that. All right. I didn't know who it was going to be. All right. Eagles star center Jason Kelce, one of the key leaders for that team. He made 6 postseason appearances, 2 Super Bowl trips, and 1 win. A 13-year career, a Hall of Fame worthy career. Announced his retirement yesterday, gave a tearful speech. We'll play some of that sound later on in the show. The Denver Broncos have informed 9-time Pro Bowl quarterback Russell Wilson their plans to release him, a move that ends a tumultuous 2-season run with the Denver Broncos. Dak Prescott is in the news. The Dallas Cowboys quarterback could be entering his final year of his contract. Right now, the two sides between Prescott's camp and the Dallas Cowboys did not speak last week at the Combine. He's hopeful and has an optimistic view that a contract can be hammered out between he and the team. The San Diego State Aztecs take on the UNLV Running Rebels tonight. Tip-off 8 p.m. Pregame set to get underway at 7:30 on your home of the Aztecs. San Diego Sports 760. And real quick, Fletch, since we stop off there on the halftime update, Aztecs, UNLV red hot. They just beat San Jose State, but they did it in a fashion that really dwarfed what effort we saw from the Aztecs over the Spartans. But it's been a weird year in the Mountain West. This has happened many times. Certain teams that you feel like you shouldn't have any problems with, you have a lot of problems with. Certain teams that you should have a lot of problems with, you beat them by 20. It's been a weird year. It's been hyper competitive. There's more parity. We've talked about all these things in college basketball over the course of this season. But what are your expectations tonight as the Aztecs take the visiting floor against UNLV?
So UNLV has these twin brothers, or maybe they're not twin. Maybe they're just regular brothers. I'm pretty sure they're twins, though. Caleb Boone and Keelan Boone, who are studs and can completely take over a college basketball game. They're one of these teams in the Mountain West that might actually have more talent than San Diego State, but they're not as good of a team as San Diego State. TD, you would like a 30?
Yeah, timeout. The Boone family had children and didn't name any of them Daniel?
good point.
No, Caleb and
missed
Keenan.
opportunity.
That's a
Yeah.
dumb move.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. You can have 12 seconds back.
Okay, thank you. But UNLV is an extremely talented offensive team, but you look at the metrics, like on defense, they're a little bit down in the net rankings compared to where San Diego State would be. San Diego State is the best basketball team in the Mountain West right now, but there are 2 or 3 teams that on any given night can beat anyone in the country because of the pure talent they have. UNLV is one of those teams.
They can shoot the lights out.
And they've been able to blow teams out this year, like by 40 points at a time. So it's extremely dangerous. You're going on the road. San Diego State's been bad on the road so far this season. The Mountain West is a really tough division to play on the road in because you're dealing with elevation now. But remember, San Diego State at the Thomas and Mack Center is better than anyone in the country.
That's true.
In terms of the Mountain West tournament, in terms of road games against the Runnin' Rebs. I was at the game last year on New Year's Eve, actually, in Las Vegas. In the performance that San Diego State laid out, specifically Darion Trammell on the road at UNLV last year, was one of the better games they played all season long. And it was at a similar time where you're starting to get to the point where, okay, Mountain West tournament's in view. Here we go. They need to start playing their best basketball. And boom, that started them on a big streak last year.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. And as we head toward our morning monologues here, I look forward to this game tonight because I think it sets the table for a great finish at home on senior night. And then, like you said, you get a warm-up game at Thomas and Mack before the tournament begins for the Mountain West. And that can catapult you, to borrow John Schaefer's term, into a higher seeding in the NCAA tournament.
Right now, they're sitting really well. 21 in the AP, 19 in the coaches, and then in the net and KenPom, they're at like season's high in both of them. I think KenPom, they're sitting at 18 net. They're around 17 or 18 as well.
Yeah, you're looking at a 3, a 4 seed, maybe a 5 seed at the worst.
So the Mountain West tournament won't hurt you in terms of NCAA tournament seedings, but it could help you.
Yeah, it could.
Mm-hmm.
So what's nice about the Aztecs and what they have left is if they're able to win these last 2 games, UNLV, Boise State, and then go on a run in the Mountain West tournament, you're looking at that 3 seed's a real possibility.
All right, Fletch. Let's hear it, man. What's your morning monologue?
Okay, would you rather me go with Dak Prescott, and I'm going to bitch and moan about him, or would you rather me go with something Jonas Knox said this morning that is an absolute revelation?
Oh, yeah. Go with Jonas Knox.
Jonas Knox.
You guys use mouthwash?
Do we? What?
Mouthwash.
No.
Well, I mean, on occasion.
Like Listerine, stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
like I always have some in the car just in case we're going somewhere fancy. My breath's
Kendall and I have a newer dentist, and we've started going to over the last couple of years, and they recommended both of us like use mouthwash regularly because we're younger and we ate candy as kids and our teeth are disasters.
Nice.
Anyways, I've been using mouthwash every day since he said that. Jonas Knox this morning dropped this bit of knowledge that you're supposed to use mouthwash before you brush your teeth, not after, because what the mouthwash does is clears out any remnants that are sitting around there. So when you actually get the toothpaste, you want it to have as much contact with teeth as possible, not with food that's left over in your teeth.
Wow.
And that really shattered my mind view because since I was a child, and if I would use mouthwash, it always came after brushing my teeth. So you have the minty fresh taste in your mouth when you're going to bed or whatever.
Wow.
But this really shattered my earth view.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the deal. Do you follow the ADA or do you follow the Mayo Clinic?
What is the ADA?
The ADA, of course,
American
is
Dental Association.
Yes, of course, that's correct. They state that you may choose to use mouthwash before you brush because of that particular scenario. The Mayo Clinic recommends using mouthwash after brushing and flossing your teeth. So after you floss, after you get everything, dislodged after brushing, then you're supposed to go in and clean it out. So who do you choose?
Here's the problem. Flossing sucks. I hate flossing.
You know what, though?
Might be more important than the mouthwash.
I'm going to give everybody a tip since we're on the teeth thing. Throw one of those, 200 pack of plackers.
Oh, yeah.
I do like those.
Yeah.
Put them in the car.
Yeah.
When I'm bored driving, I'm flossing. I'm driving around San Diego. I'm just flossing, dog.
No law against that.
I stand on business.
You do stand on business.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very nice.
All right, TD, what do you got for us this morning?
Well, okay. Mine's kind of a two-parter here. I see yesterday that SpaceX, they've backed this flying car company, and they put pre-orders out for this flying car. And the flying car sold 2,850 pre-orders at $300,000 a pop. Now, when you picture flying car, okay, I mean, like our youth growing up, a flying car, everybody knows it's a regular looking car.
Yeah.
You press a button, wings pop out, you fly.
That's correct.
the flying car that they're making is more like a drone. It's like a car cage. And then the thing just lifts off the ground, which no. Okay, no. Which leads me to part 2 here. Before we're working on this technology, I feel like we should perfect some of the current technology that we have, like the automatic flushing toilet. Okay, because I'll tell you right now, there's a number of times that I have sat on the automatic flushing toilet and it flushes while I'm sitting down, which is not only startling, but it also gives you like that magician. I'm gonna pull the tablecloth out from under you. The gasket gets yanked down underneath you. In addition, when you stand up, I mean, there's no inspection of anything that happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, so for
those who like to watch,
maybe you want to look back and be like, Lazy J, pretty good. I don't know.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, like, we could dial in the automatic flush
right
before we get to the drone car.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, that honestly, those are two things that I didn't expect to be connected here on the show this morning. But I'll tell you what, you're doing God's work.
That's right.
Really.
Also, go vote.
Yeah. It's Super Tuesday. It's Super Tuesday. Big Rich, Teedy, and Fletch will endorse a candidate later to be named.
Might be a write-in.
Yeah. So here's mine. I'm going to steer it back toward a sports topic that occurred very recently. So the Denver Broncos kind of got a little political cover to tie it back to voting day here because of the Jason Kelce retirement speech. That really took up the news cycle. It still is. People are still talking, reacting to Jason Kelce. But here's the thing. Russell Wilson not being a Denver Bronco is a complete and utter failure, an organizational failure. So George Patton, who's pulling the strings now as their general manager, is a well-respected football man. I've heard nothing but amazing things about him, but they screwed this up. They screwed it up in a big way. And John Elway for years has screwed up quarterback selections. It has not gone well for the Denver Broncos. That is an organization with a rich tradition of winning and success, and John Elway had a lot to do with it. Sean Payton comes from Louisiana with the Saints with, that Super Bowl win, and Drew Brees, he put a quarterback in the Hall of Fame. They couldn't make it work with him. Is that more condemning Russell Wilson or the state of that organization? I don't know. But the answer is coming soon. Like, they've even changed ownership. They've changed everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about, like, the Padres. Oh, they're a cursed franchise. Like, they just can't figure it out. Oh, the Browns, they're cursed. What about the Denver Broncos? It really does for everything that they have going for them, and it's a lot. They cannot seem to get it right at the most important position outside of the 2-year stint with Peyton Manning when it went really well. It has gone really bad.
I feel like you're telling me as a Denver Bronco fan, I should start rooting for the Chiefs.
All of a sudden, one day you come in,
all red.
You got the red windbreaker like Andy Reid, growing out a mustache. Like, Travis, what's happened? I don't know.
Eating in and out.
Yeah.
I'm a winner. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm celebrating with a cheeseburger, maybe 2. So it's interesting, man. Denver, I don't think they don't. A lot of teams get slandered for their poor decisions. Denver seems above some of that, but it's catching up with them. They got to get this right really fast.
Not good.
All right. Coming up on the other side, we have the rainmaker in the NBA. He's casting a huge cloud over college basketball. We'll explain what that means. But first, Fletch, you've been busy on primetimes.golf lately. And I love that website. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
I mean, I'm an avid golfer. You guys are avid golfers, especially in the months coming up when we hit summer here in San Diego. And there's no tee times available, right? But not with primetimes.golf. If you're an avid golfer, if you're looking to play more golf, get over to primetimes.golf today and sign up. The next Primetimes golf event is going to be at the Vineyard at Escondido this Saturday at 10 a.m. If you haven't played the Vineyards before, it's one of the hidden gems of golf in San Diego. Beautiful course, not too crowded, reasonably priced, and very friendly, welcoming feel to the place and the staff. Primetimes.golf for this event this Saturday. Again, primetimes.golf is where you go to sign up. They're going to create the pairings and the foursomes with the best strategic alignment possible. And of course, There's going to be an open seating table reserved for everybody involved at the clubhouse after the golf. Please register early so that primetimes.golf so they can work on these optimal pairings and groupings. So you're playing with people that match your interests. That's the whole deal here. This event is the first thing you're going to see when you open up primetimes.golf today. So go sign up. The options are limited here in terms of space available. And then, of course, there's the value golf with primetimes.golf. It's a $50 a month subscription, and then you're playing every course you book for just $20. You're not paying green fees on them. It's just $20 a time after that. You can play up to 3 times a month. That's 3 rounds of golf for $110 in 1 month. That is unheard of in terms of pricing around San Diego and the availability around San Diego, which we all know how brutal it is to get a tee time. So head on over to primetimes.golf today and sign up. Again, their next event is coming up this Saturday. You need to sign up today if you want to be involved. Primetimes.golf.
LeBron James is flexing on college basketball. We'll explain next.
This update presented by ExpressPros.com. Tons of NFL news yesterday. Broncos informing Russell Wilson he's going to be cut on March 13th when the league year begins. Longtime Eagle Jason Kelce announcing his retirement yesterday, and Dak Prescott saying he's confident a contract extension will get done this offseason. He is in his final year under contract with the Cowboys. Aztecs Hoops, they're back on the court tonight. They got UNLV at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8 on San Diego Sports 760. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about posting jobs, sifting through resumes and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. That's expresspros.com.
Checking out Eagle Cam here. Big Rish, Seedy and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. There's been a changing of the guards here. Jackie, Mama Eagle stood up as Shadow Papa Eagle returned. Stretched her legs. She took off, maybe to get something to eat. Now Shadow sitting on the eggs. Whew, it's big time. Coming up next hour, we're going to be talking with Sandy Steers, friends of Big Bear Valley Eagle Cam, to update us on what's going on here and as to why we have not seen a little eaglet chick as of yet. Also, we got a couple giveaways here. The Outlaw Music Festival, got a pair of tickets to that. It's happening July 29th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, John Mellencamp, and a whole lot more. Tickets and info at AtlantaNation.com. Or just keep listening for your chance to win. Also, a pair of tickets to Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns as an authentic Irish celebration takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gaslamp District. That's happening March 16th. SanDiegoShamrock.com for tickets and info.
So we never got to the problem, the slowdown with free agency. We were talking about how whether or not this is a natural course of things or if there's something more insidious. I probably over-exaggerating the situation by using a term so strong. But
So, I mean, depends on the level of hate here.
Well, so Scott Boras, he says, and he does this all the time. He says, look, he was like, 4 teams have called me over the past week about Snell and Montgomery. These pitchers are hot, red hot. Get them while they're still there, as he twists his mustache.
Right.
So it's interesting. He's famous for getting his clients, just truckloads of cash. I mean, it's just been an amazing career from a representative standpoint. But this offseason, it honestly feels like a lot of the Boras clients are signing for under what people thought they were valued at. And I don't know if it's the market or on our group text yesterday when we saw the most recent signing, it kind of feels like artificially some of these numbers are being kind of, it almost feels like maybe behind the scenes, some of the owners have spoken to each other like, hey, do you guys want to screw Boras this year?
Right.
Now, Scott Boras, I think, is pretty close to clearing like $1 billion in free agency money for his clients. But it's the fact that some of the bigger name clients that he has didn't sign for nearly as much. Matt Chapman comes to mind first and foremost. He ends up taking like a 3-year, much less money deal with the Giants when he was looking for the 8-year, $150 million deal. You know what I mean? So it's everyone is taking a little bit less, and Blake Snell still hasn't signed when everyone thought Blake Snell would be the top free agent pitcher off the board. And now it sounds like Blake Snell's going to get a little bit less money. So these articles are starting to be written that the Boras overinflation over times is finally coming to an end. And maybe it is Major League Baseball owners not colluding, because that's a bad word, but colluding against Scott Boras.
Well, the other running theme here is not just lower pay, but shorter terms. So there's now questions of, okay, hey, you want to come in on a higher price tag? We'll give you a year or two. You don't deliver, you're gone.
This was a direct quote from Scott Boras. He goes, there's a pitching panic going on in baseball. We've got so many starting pitchers that they're now compromised, maybe short-term, some long-term. And calls for elite starters are starting to increase with many clubs right now. Because of the pitching issue, the competitiveness of their seasons is at risk. So he does make one good point. If you want to make a run and you are a team with talent and a Blake Snell is just sort of dangling out there, flapping in the breeze, not signed with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a really enticing picture. The other side of that coin is maybe it's the personnel. Like Cody Bellinger, I mean, one of his clients has had some up and down years lately. You look at Blake Snell, it wasn't a smooth transition when he moved on from Tampa Bay and got to San Diego. It was a tough transition. He was open and honest about it. He did get himself back to Cy Young caliber, but it took time. And so I'm curious if there's a lot of teams out there, specifically with Snell, but maybe some of the other clients who are looking at the recent past of these players and saying, yeah, I mean, there's no guarantees that 2024 is going to be like an amazing year. So I don't know. Is it the dog wagging the tail or the tail wagging the dog? Is it the owner suppressing Boris and his clients and trying to keep free agency low? I mean, we saw this astronomical Shohei Ohtani deal and Yamamoto signed for so much with the Dodgers. But outside of that, the contracts haven't been insane.
So last offseason, there were 4.
I guess Wheeler was a huge deal from an annual average value standpoint.
126 mil for 3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy. But there were 4 free agents last season that had Boris for big money. And that was Xander Bogaerts, Brandon Nimmo, Carlos Correa, Carlos Rodon. They added up to $804 million in guaranteed money for just those 4. Now, his 5 biggest this offseason, Bellinger, Snell, Montgomery, Chapman, Martinez, they're not going to sniff 804. And that's where these articles are starting to come out because all those guys last year got these long-term deals outside of Bellinger.
Yeah.
The 5 that are open this year, it looks like they're all getting short-term.
Watch
deals.
AJ Preller snatches up all these starting pitchers on the cheap, and now we're like, he's a genius. He's a god. I mean, he's not the god, but apparently a god.
Yeah. Preller we trust.
Yeah.
He's in the pantheon of the gods. He's ruling the realm of us here with these earth people. I don't know how. I mean, when I look at him, my eyes hurt because he shines so bright.
I'm saying this jokingly, but there are people that feel that way, and I just don't get it.
Well, he's not
I mean, the size of some of these starting pitchers, and all of a sudden, he looks pretty shiny to me.
Yeah. Look, there is a weird feeling that I have where is it possible? No, I don't even want to say it out loud. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to.
Are you saying Padres are going to win the World Series this year?
No, hang on. No,
just
hang
spit
on.
it out.
No. No, that wasn't where I was going. Okay, is it possible that the Padres are playing possum a little bit, like that? They're saying, hey, we're out of this. We fold. We lay down our hand. We're not spending any more money. We're not chasing this. We've anteed up with everything we possibly could. But then as the I don't know, spring training wears on, maybe into the regular season, if there's free agents still available, do they throw their hat in the ring with one of these starting pitchers who's still out there?
Are you saying Blake Snow?
Is it possible?
He's the number 1 free agent pitcher on the board right now.
Montgomery?
It's possible. I mean, it's possible.
No, it's not.
Is it probable? No. Is it possible? Yes.
Yeah, it's just funny.
I would love to see it. That $30 million is sitting there that you saved.
But you don't think that the possibility rests on we'll see how the season goes? I mean, if all of a sudden they look like they could make a run, maybe they spend some money and pick somebody up, and then, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, but those people won't be there. Like Blake Snell is going to be with a team to start the year.
Yeah. Most likely. I mean, you can't say that. Well, most likely.
Blake Snell is going to be on a roster come opening day, unless he wants to hold out because he doesn't feel like there's any fair offers out there.
And it's Jordan Montgomery, his other pitcher, who has played for, I think, 3 teams over the past 2 years. He was with the Yankees, then he was traded to St. Louis, then he was traded to the Rangers. Now he's a free agent. So, and he's coming off a dynamite year last year. So I don't know. It's like, I'm just saying it's not over until the fat lady sings, right? The opera ain't over yet. We'll see what happens. Speaking of the fat lady,
I don't see one here.
No,
but I might sing.
Yeah. Actually, you have many times in the past.
Yeah, it could break out.
Singing the praises of scfatloss.com because, as mentioned, I mean, we are we started out heavy set,
right.
I would argue.
Right.
Rotund.
Right.
Husky fellas.
Yes.
Fatty boombatties.
All these are perfect adjectives. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Can't say that now, thanks to SD Fat Loss. And look, SDFatLoss.com, they're offering right now a money back guarantee.
Tell me all about it.
You don't lose weight in the first 10 days, they'll give your money back.
Impossible not to lose weight in 10 days.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like anybody that offers a money back guarantee, you know why they offer a money back guarantee? Because they know it works. They're not going to have to give you your money back because you're going to lose weight. So if you're looking to shed some of these unwanted pounds and you're looking to shed them fast, SDFatLoss.com. I'm telling you, there's no better place. It's not like one of these fad diets where you do the fad diet, you lose some weight, and then as soon as you stop doing the fad diet, you gain all that weight right back and then some. They call that yo-yo dieting. And at SD Fat Loss, they have a no yo-yo policy. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So you're going to do this. You're going to lose all this weight. You're going to lose it without exercising. You're going to lose it without counting points or calories or any of that kind of stuff. You're not going to do any of that. You're going to do it the healthy way. And then the best part is when you lose the weight, you're going to keep that weight off.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
We can't count. So
no,
we're not counting calories.
No,
we refuse to math.
Don't even want any part of it. Okay. You ain't teaching this old dog new tricks, and counting's one of them. So it's not going to happen. But you know what I did count is 31 pounds. 31 pounds lost in 8 weeks' time. I like that a lot. So you can do the same thing. You want to lose weight. You want to lose weight fast. You want to lose weight the healthy way, and then you want to keep that weight off. There's no better place to go than sdfatloss.com. Schedule your free consultation today. sdfatloss.com. Coming up, LeBron James. LeBron James is now weighing in on college basketball. We'll get to that next.
Just a little splashy snare to get you through your morning here on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch at Diego Sports 760.
Got a piccolo? Got a piccolo?
Yeah.
Man, so we just went in, not double bagged, not triple bagged, 2.5 bagged on the Colombian Dark Roast.
Yeah. So we realized the ratios were off in the building, and so we alerted a couple of people we could trust, and now word is spread.
Right. But now, I'm hearing people are mixing bags.
Yeah, so we stick to the horns. Hit it.
Give it to me.
Full time.
See, you guys talk about like the fact that the double bagging is such a good thing and widely loved. I've heard the opposite.
Well,
I've heard people are those jackasses in the morning switching up the coffee again.
Hang on.
I've heard that from multiple people.
So it turns out this is happening more often around here than you know, because I've heard that for completely different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with coffee. Actually, recently somebody was mad at us because we have a good relationship with management.
Yeah, it happens.
I was just like, listen. I mean, what do we expect? I mean, what are you, the fun police?
Yeah, no kidding.
We're literally plying people with alcohol on Fridays. We throw a frat party every single Friday. Like, yeah, certain people are going to swing by the studio who get to make the rules around here. We don't make the rules. We sure as hell don't. But we just haven't asked for permission for anything we've done.
You know who at least thinks they make the rules?
Who's that?
LeBron James.
The dude, yeah. So he is all of a sudden like pulling the invisible strings of college basketball. Apparently, he's now in talks with Ohio State, the Buckeyes, to force them to hire a new coach and to take on Bronny James as one of their players. And in with all that is going to come an influx of cash.
Wait, it's not Bronny though, right?
Oh, I thought it was Bronny.
What's his other son's name?
I thought he was. I thought we were talking transfer.
No, Bronny was going to go to the Lakers. It's his other son. So LeBron's just out there peddling his kids.
This is okay.
Dude, it's getting dangerously close to LeVar Ball.
I was thinking the same thing.
And if LeBron transforms into LeVar Ball,
it's Bryce.
Bryce.
So yes. Bryce James is the next out of the house going to college to play hoops. And so after all this news about Bronny, I thought all of a sudden this was the reaction. This was like the shoe finally dropped, and it was like, instead of declaring eligible for the draft, he's going to go play for Ohio State. I thought that's where the story was landing, but no, he's talking about Bryce James.
Right. If I'm Dusty May, the guy that LeBron wants to come over and coach, I'm saying no chance am I putting myself, at the risk of dealing with LeBron's ego every single day.
And you know what I'm saying? Show me the money!
You're just under control of one person for the rest of your career.
I mean, we're talking millions of dollars.
This feels like that episode of Chappelle's Show where it's like, I'm rich, bitch. Like, it doesn't matter. At a certain point.
When he gets Oprah pregnant?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of getting people pregnant.
One more thing. I love you, boo.
I love you too, Dave. Yes. Oh, I just spilled my coffee. That's okay.
It'll burn through that table.
We brewed acid.
Is coffee supposed to turn Jello-like?
Why are my eyes twitching? So check this out. Well, actually, but before we have so much to get to. The Padres. Okay, they got a 2-1 victory over the Cubs. We got to talk about what a big game. Big game.
Big game.
They played the Cubs like 11 times already this spring. So we'll get into some Padres updates there. Also, Jason Kelce stole the show yesterday. He did his press conference announcing his retirement. We have maybe the most relatable clip this show will ever play on the other side. Before we get to all that, though, I want to talk to you about my friends over at the Man Zone. Golden Triangle Plastic Surgery. Dr. Roy David, double board certified plastic surgeon, is the medical director of the Man Zone. What is the Man Zone? Great question. The Man Zone is where you go to get your T levels checked. Okay, so if you're someone like me who woke up one day and all of a sudden just felt like he was in a fog, felt like you were just a little down and couldn't get out of the funk, didn't feel like going to the gym and getting a workout in, just didn't feel like doing a lot of the things that you used to feel like doing. it stinks, and it feels like there's something wrong with you that will never be fixed, and so you just get used to the new normal. But there could be more to the story, and I found that out at the Man Zone. So what they do is they test your T levels. They make sure that you're in a healthy range. As it turns out, I was in the low average range. So going to the gym felt like such a slog. Getting out of bed sometimes in the morning felt like a slog. Mental clarity, the ability to, efficiently get through my day. Everything felt like I was walking in mud. And then all of a sudden I got my T levels right and everything changed. So testosterone replacement therapy has been long used for men of a certain age to get back on track and optimize their health. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and you're listening to the sound of my voice and you haven't had your testosterone levels checked, what are you doing? No judgment here, but honestly, do this for yourself. Go to themanzone.com, book your first appointment today. Tell them I sent you there, and you are going to be off to the races on your new normal, which is going to feel a lot better than your current normal. I promise. That's themanzone.com. Dr. Roy David is a trusted doctor. He will guide you through this process with his great staff. And trust me, you will feel better for it, just like me. That's themanzone.com.
Hour number 3, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Staples Stores. We will start off today in the NFL. Tons of news yesterday. Denver Broncos informing Russell Wilson he's going to be cut on March 13th when the league year begins. Longtime Eagle Jason Kelce announcing his retirement yesterday. We have the funniest clip of audio from his retirement conference coming up in a second. And Dak Prescott saying he's confident a contract extension will get done with the Cowboys this offseason. He's in his final year of his contract. Aztecs Hoops back on the court tonight. They got UNLV at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8 right here on 760. Staples print big sales means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Offer ends 4/6. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
But there's a lot of bad things in this world, dude. Like skunks, dude? Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still itchy, dude? Hell no. The Cubs, dude? Hell no. Like getting paid not a lot of money, dude, for working? Hell no. But banana bread and work, dude? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, bro! Hell yeah! Banana bread, bro! Hell work, dude! Hell yeah!
Happy Tuesday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. It is a celebration every day here on the show, but it is a celebration of a career well played for Jason Kelce, center for the Philadelphia Eagles, anchoring that position for 13 years, 7-time Pro Bowler, 1-time Super Bowl champ, who dressed up as a genie, I think.
Was it I think it was Mardi Gras attire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They ran down like the top 10 non-football moments of Jason Kelce's career yesterday. I saw a TikTok, and it was great because at one point he played the saxophone with the Philadelphia Symphony.
Good.
And like actually killed it. The Christmas album he released with his offensive line, the fact that he got the Eagles offensive line onto Sports Illustrated body issue and they were all naked fat guys walking around. Like, it's just kind of a joke. He was named a Sexiest Man of the Year finalist. They have that up there, which they have a word for what he was actually dressed as. I can't remember what it is, but it's the leader in one of the Mardi Gras parades.
He looks like he should have been on the cover of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's album.
Oh, dude, yeah. He's wearing the Swami hat.
He was
gloves,
foul
everything.
mouth, potty mouth the entire speech he gave after the Super Bowl, and Philly loved him. And then, of course, this last year when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, he's out there proud big brother and it all over the place, wearing a luchador mask, partying all night, chugging beers with his shirt off.
Oh, God.
Man's man.
He's a real American.
He really is.
America!
I saw this TikTok last night of this woman who was like, so where are all the Jason Kelces? And then this other lady stitched it.
What?
And she jumps to, she was like, they're all married, sweetheart. She goes, we locked that down pretty early. She was like, what happened? Okay, so that man right now, he's in the back room probably saying things to my kids like he's got swag just because they think that's cringe. Okay. He's usually got a beer in his hand while he's fixing something in the yard.
Plays cornhole every weekend.
Golly, I'm tearing up.
I mean, like she was talking about, like, I mean, she was describing the all-American husband, like the beer drinking, mower fixing, like kid teasing, just, I mean, round bellied, bearded faced American man. And like the fact that that's coming back into style, it bodes extremely well for all of us.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you,
Yesterday,
Jason Kelce.
To Jason.
This highly emotional press conference where he had himself in tears. He had a lot of people watching in tears. He slides in this story about the Eagles Super Bowl win. So you guys remember the play, the Philly special.
This is amazing.
This took over the world. It was the Philly special. Doug Peterson, Nick Foles, they're going to have statues outside of the link because of this play in this exact moment that Jason Kelce is describing. And he takes you into the huddle at the moment this happened.
I won't forget Nick Foles having the game of his life on the biggest stage possible. And the biggest on the team going up to Doug Peterson and asking for the Philly special. And Doug Peterson having the biggest balls in the stadium. Say, yeah, let's do it.
Dude,
He's talking about twigs and berries and crying.
He's a hero, okay? He's a hero. By the way, he's right.
Yeah. Like rumor going around the league is Nick Foles is a tripod. That has been confirmed on multiple accounts.
Does he go to the man zone?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Golden Triangle, plastic surgery, the man zone.
Wow.
Getting a little TRT. Look, here's the deal. Nick Foles, you're absolutely right. Like you've got to have brass ones to go to your coach and be like, hey, let's call that play where I touch the go-ahead touch. I catch the go-ahead touchdown pass. That's the one I want, coach. But you also have to have faith that everybody is going to do the right thing at the right time. There's no way Nick Foles as a backup quarterback has that faith unless he has a confident, just war daddy of a center blocking the middle of the pocket for him the whole way. Because quarterbacks, their confidence gets rattled when their cage gets rattled. And the middle of that pocket is everything. If they can step into throws and throw confidently, if they can trust that everything's going to be communicated up front and everybody's going to be sliding to the problems, which means like as an offensive line unit, you're going to get bodies on bodies. You're going to make sure that you take care of all the blitzers you can, and then you leave the ones that you can't block because there's only 5 of you for the quarterback to handle. When you do that consistently, a quarterback can play with obscene amounts of confidence. I promise you, the Eagles do not win that Super Bowl without Kelce at center. That's how important that position is. And for Nick Foles to step into the game also and have the success he did, it's because of the ability of Jason Kelce to communicate with him. Like you go on from your starting quarterback, Carson Wentz, who was on an MVP run that season, and then transition to your backup. Who's making all the calls? I promise you it wasn't Nick. It was Jason Kelce.
Right. It's going to be a huge loss. Interested to see what the team looks like without him, because it's not just the loss of the talent at the position. It's the loss of that figure in the locker room, on the field, on the team. And it's a big voice. It's a big soul out there.
Yeah.
Looking back at that play and how crazy it was, like Clement was the guy that got the first pat, and then Trey Burton, the backup tight end, because remember Zach Ertz is the main tight end on that Philly team. Trey Burton is the one that throws the touchdown pass. The Stones to have that play against Bill Belichick in the biggest moment of everyone's career with a backup quarterback, a backup tight end making the throw, and a backup quarterback making the catch is one of the most absurd things to ever happen.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of the Saints Super Bowl when Sean Payton came out at halftime, surprise onside kicked, and they recover the ball against Colts and they end up winning that Super Bowl. That's how Sean Payton and Drew Brees got their Super Bowl victory. And you think about moments like that where you're an underdog, because on the other side of the field, it's Tom Brady. In the case of the Saints, like I was just describing, on the other side of the field, it was Peyton Manning. You're talking about legends of the game. So you kind of at some point have to pull the rabbit out of the hat and have a trick up your sleeve that they didn't see coming. Yeah. Literally, the play is now known and forever will be known as the Philly Special. It was a gimmick. It was something they practiced all season long. They never pulled out of the hat. And then in the biggest stage, arguably the biggest moment of the game, you have a backup quarterback, as Jason Kelce put it so poetically, with a big old pendulous attitude. Yeah. Go to his coach, who's got a pairman, and say, hey, we got to do this now. And he says yes, and history is written.
It's like you said, though, you got to do something that they're not expecting, that they haven't seen, they haven't practiced for, and you have.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do it.
You got to do it. All right, listen, we do this, and we have to do this every single Tuesday as well. It's Four Corners. Look, we are going to scour the map so that you don't have to bring you the most relevant stories of the day. And we'll get you started here.
Yeah, we're going to get you started out in Paris.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
Paris Fashion Week. Apparently, this year's fashion trend, show them off.
Oh, you mean
nudity? Yeah, I mean see-through tops. Nothing else underneath. Okay?
Dude, I knew this was coming. I called this. I kid you not.
That 2024 is going to be the year of the nipple.
Well, so I was on the beach last year.
I'm here for it.
So Pacific Beach, where I live, you go to the bay or the beach, it doesn't matter.
Not a whole lot of bras.
Oh my, dude, there's just butts out everywhere now.
Hell yeah, dude.
Girls, I mean, women, it doesn't, you just butts everywhere.
Butts out on the beach? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Banana bread on a beach blanket with butts out? Hell yeah.
Tulle organza. I don't know what that is. Fishnet and chiffon, all very popular, all see-through.
So this is the point. So the butts were out last summer, and this has been growing in popularity over the course of, I don't know, the last half decade or so. And I turned to Ann. I was like, the next thing is topless. I mean, there's no question in my mind.
We're moving in. We're moving that direction.
We are going to see this next summer. She's like, no. I'm like, I promise you. I said, in Europe, I was like, you've traveled the world. You know what I'm talking about. You go to Europe, it's all topless beaches. There's no such thing as a non-topless beach. They just got the girls out.
Wow. Well, coming to San Diego.
Tell you, look, Richie's a fan.
I mean, I feel like the whole show can get behind this.
This is honestly, so maybe we should go to Paris Fashion Week. That sounds like a live remote opportunity for us.
Absolutely. They'd send us there, right?
Okay.
Probably. You guys see defensive tackle for the Jaguars, Foley Fatukasi?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yep, you got him. Yeah, everybody knows him.
Yeah. It was his birthday yesterday, March 4th. Very
Happy
special
birthday.
day.
Happy birthday.
Well, that's exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars said on their Twitter, Instagram, all the things. Happy birthday, 94. Have a great day, blah, blah, blah. You're fired. 5 hours after wishing him happy birthday on social media, they cut him from the team. Now, Rich, you're no rookie to being cut. You got cut a couple times in your career.
Certainly did.
Ever on February 14th?
Dude, close. I mean, real close.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I guess it is
Belichick-
that time.
Belichick call you up and say, hey, Rich, happy birthday.
I
Have
got
your locker cleared out by tomorrow.
I got
Did you get my Valentine? It said, you're fired.
Yeah. Roses are red, violets are too. Clean up your stuff. I'll hit you with a shoe. He's
Suck on that chili dog.
suck it out, chili dog. Suck it out, chili dog. He fired me 6 days after my birthday.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Your like 23rd, 24th birthday, somewhere in there.
It was around there. Yeah,
How
something
could
like
you
the
be so
25th.
heartless?
It was like it was legitimately like we just went to the Super Bowl and we lost. And we're back home in Boston. We had to move out of our old apartment. We moved into a new one. And I was like, I signed a 2-year lease. The ink wasn't even dry on the lease. And all of a sudden I get a phone call. He's like, yeah, hey, Rich, how you doing? I'm like, is this Bill? He goes, yes, it is. I was like, Belichick? He goes, yes. I was like, well, I know why we're talking because this has never happened before. Actually, it happened one time. The only 2 times he's ever called me on the phone is when he drafted me and when he cut me.
Hired and fired.
Yeah, hired and fired. That's how it went down. But anyways, check this out. Former Chick-fil-A worker reveals the chain's most quote unquote underrated menu items and the very surprising dish that all employees love. So check this out. This went viral on TikTok. I had no idea, but apparently there's all these hacks. The grilled chicken club apparently is one of the things that is tops by all employees.
But not fried?
The other item is the chicken nuggets, and you just pour honey over the top of them.
Done that.
Okay. Which is a lot like their breakfast little sandwiches, right? Don't they have honey that they put on them?
The breakfast sandwiches,
the chicken and egg.
Yeah.
No,
the mini ones.
The mini ones is literally just like a mini biscuit with a mini chicken nugget and honey on top of it.
Right.
And it's
They're
awesome.
delicious.
Never had that one.
Yeah, we brought them in studio one
Oh,
time.
wait.
We ate those in studio?
I think. Oh wait,
Was
no,
Rich gone?
no, I don't remember.
That was
All
when
I
my
know
folks
is-
brought them in.
Yeah, and they brought
I
me
was
and
gone
only
that
me
day.
hash browns
I was gone that day.
because everybody else went
I was
hash
gone.
browns not good.
Oh, that was over the summer. That was in July.
Maybe.
It was so good.
Oh,
It was
gosh.
awesome.
Do
It
you
was so-
realize that when I saw the damn group text and the rundown, I was like, are you kidding me? They eat Chick-fil-A without me? I was like devastated. Waking up in a basement at my sister's house in Connecticut,
When-
legitimately weeping real big boy tears.
When are your parents coming back? And when are we getting Chick-fil-A?
There is a boys trip on the schedule for San Diego. I can't remember what, August maybe.
How about that?
Keith, get
Yeah.
your ass in the car.
Alex is coming in March.
Good.
And he wants to come to a Bar Cart Friday.
Dude, out in Florida, they have something called the Florida Man Games.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
heard about this.
So the thing kicks off with the Star Spangled Banner on electric guitar, of course.
yes.
The games include evading the police, chugging beer. What are some other ones here that were on this thing? Oh yeah, wrestling over beer. Yeah, I mean they're just man games. Which why is there not a West Coast version?
Can I read you a headline?
Nope.
Yeah, hang on.
Wait, no, it's a good one.
I know.
It's a good one.
I know what it is.
Humpback whales caught enjoying gay sex romp. First documented photos of whale humping.
No, I have to click it.
So
God, I hate TV sometimes.
these whales put the hump
Yeah,
in
there it is.
humpbacks.
There's just a picture right there on the website. Front and center.
There's a couple of guys hanging out. All right.
Having fun. The same old thing.
Right. I mean, look, whatever to each his own whale.
See, that's my point. Like, if you're, what do they call them? Cetapod?
Wait, that's not really what they call them, is it?
Well, I don't know. It's the Latin name for whale. Look, the point is, if they're coupling and not for compilation but for fun, that's fine. I mean, look.
Here's a quote from the article.
Yeah.
Mating and non-reproductive sexual encounters between the giant marine mammals has rarely been observed in the wild and never before been captured on camera, but here it is.
I love how the first time they captured it, it was like, well, those are two dudes. They're like, we've never actually seen humpback whales procreate.
I don't know why this is so funny to me.
Well, because it's just okay. So first of all, the funniest part about this, they're humpback whales.
Right.
Like the only thing
Like it's in
would,
the name.
would it, if it were sperm whales. Because I mean, Jesus.
Oh God.
Okay.
Do we want to get to a happy, or do we want to continue on here with
We
four
got
quarters?
Oh yeah, we have so many.
Okay.
Look, we spanned the whole
Listen.
globe. We covered the four corners of the map to bring you the best stories today.
That's right. Are you a fan of Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan?
Hell yeah.
You are. I've never seen it.
With Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, I've never seen
it's
it.
fantastic.
You know what, Fletch? I don't usually respect his taste in movies. Shows he really has a good eye for,
Yeah.
but movies, dude, he's 100% accurate on
Freaky
this one.
Friday's the
It's hilarious.
well, buckle up, Buttercup, because they're making a sequel.
they don't need to do that.
Thank God.
Is it with her?
Yeah, it's with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. So I don't know if it's going to be Freaky Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, or is it Freaky Friday 2?
Did you see the Jason Bateman, Ryan Reynolds Freaky Friday spinoff, the R-rated one?
I did not.
It's called The Change Up. It's actually really, really funny.
yeah,
There's a ton of
yeah.
like gratuitous nudity in it.
I do remember it, but I didn't watch it all the way through. I've seen parts of it and laughed.
It is funny,
Yeah.
but however, they both end up like cheating on their wives in it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Details.
Funny, not quite as funny.
Okay, so let's see. I'm so worried about. Okay, listen to this. So Swifties are worried about Taylor Swift. They're saying that the pop star is exhausted
How do they know?
as she struggles through Singapore.
Yeah.
Because
By
they
the
all
way,
watch like every show she does.
did you see the pictures and video of the fans at the concerts behind the stage?
No.
They're paying $800 a ticket, and they're behind the stage. They can't see anything.
Oh, I get what you're saying now. I thought you meant like that backstage.
No.
access.
It's
You
just
mean
it's
they're-
just like at the stadium, like in the backside of the stage. They can't see anything.
So at those crazy SoFi shows, they had partially blocked view seats,
God.
and Kendall almost paid $300 for them.
What?
They're showing pictures of her. Like, okay, so pictures obviously are worth 1,000 words, but like you can take a picture at any point.
Yeah, I know.
They're just taking a picture of her probably in between songs where she's catching her breath, and she does look exhausted and
She
sweaty.
looks like she's getting ready to throw up.
Yeah, but at the same token, she could just be clearing her throat, and they caught her.
Yeah. Steering it back to sports as well as staying with Taylor Swift. When Jason Kelce gave his retirement speech yesterday, he said these lines. I found my career being fulfilled in the city of brotherly love. I knew that relationship all too well. So Swifties freaked out and went all too well. That's a Taylor Swift song. He went on and said, if you go above and beyond for this city, you will be rewarded above your wildest dreams, which again, another Taylor Swift song. So Swifties going nuts. Actually, you know what I pull out of this though?
Yeah.
Swifties were watching the retirement speech.
Oh, there's no question. So what's so crazy, I've heard from them already. What's so crazy about Jason Kelsey's retirement speech, I got more text messages from female friends and family members than I did from male friends and family members. Like more of the women in my life reached out to me and they're like, oh my God, did you see Jason just retired? And I was just like, how do you know this? But it's because he's so wrapped up into the Taylor Swift world that this is relevant news to that side of the planet. It is. I mean, this is just incredible what's happened this NFL
Running
season.
theme on our show, we all get mad at TD when he just reads stuff that he gets texted on his phone. This is one time where I actually think what we just got emailed is probably worth reading.
Well, it's bad news. Instagram and Facebook, they're down. Not working. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't opened Instagram or Facebook, but that's what we just got emailed. Instagram, Facebook down. Meta down.
All of
we
them
don't know any other details. Could be a hack.
I
We
don't know. I
don't
just
know.
opened up Instagram and Sydney Sweeney's boobs are on it.
Yeah,
well, it works
I
then.
will be honest with you,
We're working better than ever.
That again. So that's what I was referencing yesterday. That's the goodbyes and the thank yous after her appearance on Saturday Night Live. She nailed it.
What?
Yeah. I'm talking about just the goodbye. Just here, hang on. Show him the clip
Let's see.
again.
Oh, the
Top
goodbyes.
comment. She's really
Yeah.
got beautiful eyes.
The goodbyes, yes.
She really does. Yeah.
Wow.
They're staring right
Yeah,
at you.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The goodbyes, yes.
Dude,
yeah, 1,000%. My
was-
Instagram working fine.
Yeah, same here. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, whatever.
We better get program director Mary in here.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, it says it can't refresh feed.
Interesting.
Oh, my
Guys,
goodness. I just got...
We'll do the work so you don't have to.
That's right.
We'll figure out what's going on with Meta, with IG. Also, as we gaze upward, skyward to the Eagle Cam at Lake Big Bear, Jackie is nesting with her eggs.
That's still Shadow.
That's Shadow.
Shadow.
Just like I said,
How
it's
can you
Shadow.
tell?
Because I've been watching, Jackie tagged out. Shadow came and sat down.
Shadow's there. He was off humping friends like humpback whales often do. But now he's back and he's the best father. Some people say the best. I say it. Many people are saying it.
I'll tell you what, he is. He's very trim. He's very fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he looks real good.
We should check in. Honestly, we really should. We should check in with Sandy Steers coming up next. She's friends of Big Bear, Eagle Cam expert. She's going to join us on the show on the other side. But like you said, Shadow, fit, trim, capable, agile,
yeah.
hunter, predator.
Athlete.
These are words that we use to describe our very own Ben Fletcher.
I knew it. I knew that's where you were going. I knew you were talking about me as soon
Mhm.
as you said all those things. And it's so nice of you. And our friends over at sdfatloss.com have something that's so nice for the listener going right now. If you've heard us talk about sdfatloss.com over the last, 6 months now, guys,
Mhm.
it's been going.
Yep.
And you hearing it and you're thinking about picking up the phone to make the call, but then you think it's just not for me. It's not going to work. I've tried all the things before.
6 months. Yeah, it's
Wow.
been since
That's
September.
crazy.
Wild.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No worries anymore, because if in the first 10 days of sdfatloss.com you don't lose a pound, you get your money back. But I promise you're going to lose the weight and the money is going to be worth it. sdfatloss.com has changed all three of our lives. And if the three of us can do it, let's face it, you can as well. If you're thinking about trying the latest fad medication or prescription drug, don't do it, because while you might lose some weight at the start, it's just from temporarily suppressing your hunger. As soon as you get off the drug or the fad diet, your frustration and your weight could come right back to haunt you. The three of us are living proof here that with sdfatloss.com, you can get back to that former version of yourself that you liked so much more. Stop looking in the mirror and being upset. Make a change, and make a change today by going to sdfatloss.com. Talk to Wayne and Chloe, figure out the roadmap that's going to work best with you, and then they will work with you over the course of a couple months with the reduction phase, and you're going to lose a lot of weight, and you're going to lose it fast. And if you don't, if it's 10 days in and you haven't lost a single pound, you'll get all your money back. But get on over to sdfatloss.com today, sign up for that free consultation, sign up to get the roadmap, and then start losing weight, because the only thing that you got to lose is what, TD?
Them unwanted pounds.
Them unwanted pounds.
Yeah.
Who are we talking to next?
We're talking to Sandy Steer from the Friends of Big Bear Valley, the Eagle Cam. We're going to check in. We're going to find out what's going on. We're going to get a live update from the nest coming up next. We, like the rest of the world, have been enthralled with the Eagle Cam up in Big Bear. We're going to check in with Sandy Steers coming up next.
This update is presented by the CONCACAF W Gold Cup, and I'm going to step aside completely because we didn't get to TD's halftime. TD, can you fill us in on some NBA scores, please?
Yeah. NBA, some scores around the league here. The Acres Green, the Thunder, 116-104. Green Acres, you're welcome. Chicago Gold translated, the Kings, 113-109. The Jazzly Furniture, the Wizards, 127-115. Memphisoderm, the Grizzlies. I'm sorry, I don't know what I wrote there. I don't even know who they played. 106-102. They play the Nets or the Grizzlies? I wrote it twice.
This is the Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's been a long morning, Fletch. I'm just worried about the Eagle. I don't know why I wrote twice there, but I did. How about this one? The Bucks of DeBeppo, the Clippers, 113-106. And the Timbos wavulated the Trailblazers, 119-114. There you go. You got it.
Oh, my God.
It's all working well.
In the NFL, Jason Kelsey retired. Russell Wilson's going to get cut by the Broncos, and the Aztecs will be back on the court tonight. They got UNLV at the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Pregame gets going at 7:30, tip-off at 8 right here on 760. That was an all-time bad.
Well, you know what? I confused myself. It was late. I wrote it twice.
It's okay.
Because it's nice.
USA and Canada meet at the semifinals of the CONCACAF W Gold Cup. Catch World Cup players Alex Morgan, Sophia Smith, Ashley Lawrence, Jesse Fleming on March 6th at Snapdragon Stadium. Get your tickets at wgoldcup.com/tickets. CONCACAF W Gold Cup, our legacy, our cup. That was the all-time worst.
No, I've done way worse. I promise you that. It's Big Bear CD and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. Still have those giveaways, so it's going to happen this segment because it's got to. Pair of tickets to Shamrock, St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival. Tradition returns as an authentic Irish celebration takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gaslamp District. That's happening March 16th. San Diego Shamrock.com for tickets and info. Meanwhile, we have been absolutely enthralled. And I say we... And I felt like it's been mostly me who brought this to the table. And
you
now,
brought it here. I'm eating it up.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We got
I
people joining in.
I apologized to you last night.
You did. And I thank you for that. The Big Bear Eagle Cam has been something that has captivated the nation, possibly the world. We'll find out here because Well, we got Sandy Steers joining us from Friends of Big Bear Valley, who put up the Eagle Cam. Sandy, how are you this morning?
I'm great, thank you.
So the Eagle Cam goes up. Wait, how long has the Eagle Cam been up? Just first of all.
Since October of 2015.
Wow. And do the eagles stay there all the time, or do they only come back and nest when they lay eggs?
They come back and nest when they lay eggs, but they're in our valley all year, so they come back every couple of weeks just to check and make sure everything's okay.
Sandy, you're speaking to the complete ignorant and uneducated here. So everything we ask you, we are just trying to dig for information we don't know. So is that your camera? Like you climbed the tree and you're like, there's an eagle nest. We're going to go check it out.
No, I did not climb the tree, but I got us to our nonprofit to raise money so we could put the camera up, and got somebody to design it and somebody that knows how to climb 145 feet into a tree on ropes and be able to put all that up. So, yeah.
The nest is 145 feet up in the air?
In the tree,
In the
yes.
tree.
Yes.
Wow. Is there anything that nests higher than the eagle?
Not that I know of. I'm sure there are a couple other birds like, condors and things like that nest as high, but no, eagles like to be on top and see everything around them.
Now, these eagles have picked a hell of a view for their nest to sit at so they can look out over the lake. Like, that's part of what I think makes this YouTube live stream so enthralling, is the fact that you're looking at all of Big Bear Lake right there. Any indication that they did that on purpose? They like the lakefront view?
Yes, they like to have a view of the lake so that they can see if they're going to be, if it's frozen, if they need to leave, if they hunt on the lake. Bald eagles only hunt on water, and so they want a good view of where their food is.
Wait, they don't go get like squirrels and rabbits? They only get fish?
They will occasionally take, like roadkill or something, but in general, they don't hunt off the land. Golden eagles will hunt off the land, but bald eagles off the water, and ducks and fish. Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say is the percentage? Because look, we refuse to gender an eagle on this show. We won't do it. But per the experts like yourself, what would you say is the split on Jackie versus Shadow? So Jackie, the female bald eagle, Shadow, the male, in terms of actually sitting on the eggs, is that mostly the female eagle's job, or is this really like a split shift situation?
Well, it's not particularly Jackie's job, but Jackie is the boss. She's the female, and she is the boss. And she says she lets Shadow sit on the eggs when it's convenient for her, when she needs a break. And he tries to stay on longer, and he will argue with her when she comes back and say, no, it's still my turn, but she always wins.
So Sandy, I want to get into the eggs here in just a bit, but during the night, there's usually only one eagle in the nest. Where does the other eagle go? I'm assuming it's Shadow who leaves. He's got the night shift somewhere?
Yeah, it's Shadow who leaves, and he will be sleeping. We know where some of their roost trees are that we see in the summer. We're not panning to those roost trees right now because we want the camera on the nest. But yeah, there's some roost trees nearby that he will be sleeping in. And during the summer, they both sleep on those roost trees. But now Jackie's guarding the nest at night, and he is on call. If anything happens, he'd fly in immediately, and he's done that before.
Now, how long would you guess until we see some serious action with these eggs cracking open?
Right.
Hopefully anytime. They are at the point of pip watch, which means watching for the first little dent in the eggshell or a little crack. That means the chick is trying to push its way out of that shell. But then even after we see that, it'll take at least another day, sometimes longer, before the chick can actually get out of the shell.
Sandy Steers, Friends of Big Bear Valley Eagle Cam, nonprofit dedicated to giving us up and close views of the American bald eagles nested next to Lake Big Bear. A beautiful visual right now as we see a slight breeze just tussling the neck feathers of this beautiful bird, our nation's bird. I want to ask you a question, and I don't want you to be offended by this at all, because if the answer is I don't know, that's fine. Do eagle eggs taste like chicken eggs?
I'm not offended, but I would never know because I would.
Okay, I'm going to take a lap.
Wait,
because
hold on. Would he go to jail if he ate an eagle egg?
Also, good question.
He actually would, because eagles are protected. They're nationally protected. Bald eagles and golden eagles are protected by the National Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act. So
Feel good about yourself.
Wait,
You feel good about yourself, Richard?
We're just talking about an egg. We don't know. When is it an eagle, Sandy? No, I'm going to take 2 laps.
Okay, so here's the thing, Sandy. Yesterday, we see Jackie, who stands up from the nest. It looked like there was already a little hole in the shell. It looked like there was some feathers sticking out. Was there not a hole? Was it just a mark on the shell and some of Jackie's feathers on it?
Yes, it's, as far as we can tell so far, it's just a mark or dirt on the shell, and then one of Jackie's feathers is there. So, yeah.
So Sandy, when the eggs hatch, how soon before you can tell whether it's a male or female?
We actually won't know that officially until they're at least 6 weeks old and probably close to grown, because yeah.
Okay,
it's based on size and all kinds of things. Yes.
So Sandy, do you name the chicks immediately? And if so, check it out. I'm going to throw it out here as Rich threw his headphones in the coffee. So I'm going to throw this out here. It's very topical. It's very relevant. It could go male or female. That first chick, Taylor. What?
Wait a second. No. You totally missed an opportunity.
What?
Dude, there's three
eggs. We're going to name them Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Look, Sandy, we're not telling you what to do. But if you name those eaglets after us, we will be the best damn uncles you've ever seen.
That is true. That is true.
Nothing to worry about.
How do we petition for that, Sandy?
Well, we have a contest. We let people submit names for a little donation, and then we draw out about a couple dozen of them, and then the third graders in Big Bear Lake get to pick the final names.
The bigger the donation, the more likely those names get picked, because we got deep pockets.
No, it's not based on that. It's just random drawing from. We want it to be fair to everybody.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, but then are we allowed to go to the third grade class and petition?
You might be able to do that. Yes.
Okay. All right. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah. We'll bring candy.
You've watched Jackie grow up. You've known her since birth, right, Sandy?
Yes, I have.
How old is Jackie?
She's 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And she's just a young bird.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Okay, so eagle. How long do they last? Well, that's a weird way to ask it. How long do eagles last?
Over 2, my guy.
I know. I'm really struggling.
Over 35 years in the wild, they've been known to last.
35 years.
That is a good stretch.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long do they lay eggs? Like, at what age are they like, nope, no more of those?
Until they leave. Yeah, they lay eggs their whole life.
Wow. Will you have generations so Shadow and Jackie, obviously new parents here with a nest full of eggs. Do we know their grandparents? Do they drop by? Do they give Jackie and Shadow date nights? How does that work?
No, Jackie's parents were here before, but we don't know where they are, and they don't come, and Jackie and Shadow won't let any other eagles visit their nest.
Wow.
It doesn't matter who they are.
Jackie and Shadow's parents moved to Florida.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not coming out to Big Bend. If you want to visit, you come here. It's too cold. And I'll tell you right now, the mackerel is better here. We're tired of salmon.
Are they Seinfeld's parents?
Yeah. Actually, I just did my mom.
Yeah,
that's Patty Ornberger.
Listen, after these chicks are grown, will Jackie and Shadow come back and say, hey, or are they just done for? They're gone.
Well, after the chick first fledges, it takes 10 to 14 weeks before it will leave the nest. In that time, Jackie and Shadow will be feeding it the whole time, feeding all the chicks. And then when it leaves, it will come back a few times, and Jackie and Shadow will follow it around the area, teaching it how to hunt, bringing it food. And then when it leaves, it's gone. And that's it.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what, we learned an awful lot, Sandy, and it's all thanks to you. If you want to watch the live cam of the Big Bear Valley Eagles You can do so on YouTube. It was a popular viewing spot last night. I think there were 17,000 plus viewers when we tuned in last night. Continued success with this camera and this arguably one of the most celebrated reality television shows out there,
Right?
Or at very least streaming shows out there. Incredible.
It
Incredible.
absolutely is.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
There she goes,
Okay.
Sandy Steers. And we have a very special announcement to make here.
Mhm.
It's not Pip Watch. No.
No.
No. It's something even better, maybe.
Yeah. Is it? Are we doing Shamrock?
You're damn right
Okay,
we
I
are.
knew it. A pair of tickets to Shamrock St. Patty's Day Music and Beer Festival, because tradition returns. Not the Authentic Irish celebration that takes over the streets of San Diego's historic Gas Lamp District. That's March the 16th. God, I can't talk. I'm so flustered because of the Eagles.
You're
San Diego
all eagled up.
Shamrock.com. That's right. That's right. I'm fired up. Caller number 5 right now. 877-767-4760, 877-767-4760, and I'll run in there and answer the phone if I have to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine because Fletch, you have something very special to talk to us about too. It's an app you constantly have open. In fact, last week you were placing wagers on some of the combine events.
Oh, all day. And I've even petitioned Prize Picks to allow some stat projections based on what's going on here on the Big Bear Bald Eagle Cam.
You are an eager little eagle, aren't you?
Bingo. Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members, the easiest, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike some of these other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you and the numbers. No sharks, no competitive leagues. All you're doing is picking more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can watch the winnings roll in. The most popular category, by the way, on Prize Picks recently, or one of the most, has been League of Legends. It's not just the normal sports that you're used to. It's also e-gaming. It's also MMA. It's also basketball, of course. And with college basketball hitting its apex right now, NBA getting into the time of the year where everyone cares a lot, Prize Picks is the spot to be. It's sports heaven for me. It can be sports heaven for you as well. They're even offering injury insurance right now so that your entries can stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For basketball games, if you have a player who exits in the first half, doesn't return until the second, Prize Picks will have your back and not count that as a loss. It is my favorite fantasy sports app to play, and I've tried them all. Prize Picks is the best in the world. So get on over to Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch and get a first deposit match up to $100. Download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code Fletch. First deposit match up to $100. Coming up next, we wrap this thing up.
Big Ristini and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. We got an update from J-Riff.
Yeah, let's hear it. What does J-Riff want?
He said, Jenna and I watched the changeup last night. Bateman and Reynolds did not cheat at Fletch.
Okay.
Is he sure?
Okay.
Well, because they were in each other's bodies
last night.
They were in each other's bodies when it happened, and they both definitely had sex
with each other, like the whales.
By the way, something that came up. It feels like a year ago now. This was early on last year. But so NFL star quarterbacks, typically when they marry or they girlfriend up, I mean, they do well. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
These guys are the cat's pajamas. Well, I remember one time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a phrase? Can we time out?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
The cat's pajamas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look it up.
Yeah.
It means like the cool guy.
Right.
Yeah. Or it doesn't have to be like a cool guy. Yeah, it could be anybody. Yeah, like the cool San Diego I Heart cool guy. He's the cat's pajamas.
That's right. The bee's knees.
Yeah.
Same genre.
So Josh Allen's ex, Brittany Williams, she came up on the show for whatever reason.
Correct.
I guess it was recently they had broken up and then he was moving on to another gal. And
he moved on to Haley Steinfeld.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he
actress, beautiful singing voice.
Yeah, which you have publicly said stunning.
Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay.
So Fletch goes, yeah. I mean, like he traded up. And I'm like, well, I don't even know who Brittany Williams is. Let me go and check out the old IG. And I was like, well, hang on. I was like, hang on.
I
was like,
we signaled for timeout.
Yeah. We gave a quick tee.
Uh-huh.
We went to the scorer's table. We called the 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then we asked Fletch, we're like, so yeah, what exactly is wrong with Brittany Williams? And he goes, oh, dude, yeah, nothing's good there. Okay, so the New York Post.
Yeah, you did say not even close.
Yeah, he posted some of the pictures that Williams recently updated to her Instagram with a simple caption, woke up in Cabo. And Fletch, okay, so still, I'm gonna tilt the computer toward your way.
Right.
I'm just gonna scroll through some of these pictures that the Post put on this article. Is this still just like no, stop it?
I actually think she looks so much better in these pictures because she's not wearing all the makeup. Look at the one I have up covering up the eagle right now.
Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong there?
Don't understand
you are out of your mind.
I'm standing by it just because, like, dude, there's way too much makeup going on.
Are you insane? There's what?
Look, everyone has their personal preferences, okay? I'm just saying Haley Steinfeld is a total 10 out of 10, maybe even 11 out of 10.
Even historically, quick, another time out. Even historically, like, there's been a lot of personal preferences that have just been wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
like,
for a lot of people. Maybe this is wrong on me. I just don't see it.
I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so Josh Allen is a superstar NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The picture that you have up on the screen right now that you're like, I just not that great. She is way above his pay grade.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
If you don't know anything else about the picture, you go, how did he do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, how did this thick-necked investment banker land her?
That is 1,000,000% correct. Oh, back to the Eagle.
She's also got crazy eyes.
What?
I don't know if that's a bad
Crazy.
thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Look, some people really like carrot cake. I'm not one of those guys. Okay?
Wrong again.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, because I feel like, she's kind of banana bread, dude.
I love banana bread.
Okay.
I'm just saying she might be the wrong type of banana bread.
Saquon Barkley not getting
one.
That's what I said. Not getting franchise tagged.
Oh my God, Rich, you missed it.
I confused myself.
What did he do?
I let him do all his NBA scores during the last update. Like, I just stepped aside and let him go. What was the Memphis one? Read it how you read it.
Well, I already deleted it. The men Pfizer-dermed the Grizzlies, the Nets, because I had the Grizzlies and Memphis there. And then I didn't know who they played. I didn't know what team I was talking about. I was lost. The room got smaller.
You want to fill him in who Memphis is?
Yeah, I know they're the Grizzlies, but I was confused on what I was saying. It's not that I don't know. It's just I had written so many things. It didn't make sense. Congratulations to Aaron, who's going to the St. Patty's Day party. This music reminded me of my Irish roots.
That's right.
Right. Let's do this. Let's do at 8:58. So in
smart.
3 minutes, 8:58. Caller number 5, you are going to go to the Outlaw Music Festival. That's happening at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, July 29th. Willie Nelson, oh, Dylan, John Mellencamp, and more. Tickets info, livenation.com. And just keep listening. Oh, actually, don't keep listening. All you got to do is call at 8:58.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 877-SORG-760.
One last headline to read. Rumors swirl at NFL Combine that the Giants are filled with Daniel Jones regret. Can you imagine reading that if you're Daniel Jones? You're like, time for Cheerios.
It's from the Post as well.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, the Post is always like, New York sucks.
Anyways, that's all the show we have for you. Who do we thank today, Fletch?
Everything you missed is up on the free iHeartRadio app. We don't have time, but thank you to the Eagle. Thank you to Nate Chandler. Thank you to you guys.
Yeah,
There we go.
and Sandy.
Sandy Steers. The herd is next. Eagle Watch continues.